welcome to Tales in the Dark. I know many of you enjoy relaxing with these videos, so I recommend turning down the volume until my voice is barely audible. It'll make the experience even more soothing. Before you close your eyes, let me know in the comments where you're listening from. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you and enjoy listening. Story 1. On a night illuminated by the silvery glow of the moon, deep within the heart of the woods, my wandering path led me to a forgotten campsite, almost overtaken by the embrace of nature. The towering pines swayed gracefully, their needles whispering soft secrets of times long past. The air, cool and fragrant with the scent of cedar and damp soil, carried a subtle promise of hidden mysteries shrouded beneath layers of time. Approaching the clearing, my footsteps hushed by a carpet of fallen pine needles, I beheld the remnants of a once bustling gathering spot. Weathered logs encircled an ancient fire pit, now adorned with delicate mushrooms emitting a faint, ethereal glow under the moon's gentle light. Their soft luminescence seemed to pulse ever so faintly, akin to a tranquil breath in the stillness of the night. At the edge of the clearing stood the remains of an old cabin, its wooden walls aged to a silvery hue by countless seasons. Moonbeams filtered through gaps in the roof, casting intricate patterns on the floor that seemed to shift and dance when not directly observed. The slightly ajar door swayed with the night breeze, producing a rhythmic creak that blended harmoniously with the murmurs of the pines. Stepping inside, I found time had woven its own tale within the walls. Dust particles pirouetted in the moon's beams, while the aged wooden floors creaked beneath my weight, as if sharing ancient memories with each careful step. A grand stone fireplace dominated one wall, its chimney soaring skyward like a silent sentinel. Within its cold hearth, dried leaves had gathered, forming enigmatic patterns reminiscent of an unfamiliar script. On a small table near the window, I discovered an ancient journal, its pages rippled by humidity, yet miraculously preserved. The leather cover exuded a warmth against the night's chill as I gingerly opened it, the spine emitting a soft crackle, revealing elegant script recounting tales of strange lights amongst the trees and haunting melodies carried by elusive breezes. The journal's author chronicled how each twilight, the pines would engage in hushed conversations, recounting tales of passing wanderers, forest transformations, and enigmatic entities traversing the shadows. The writer detailed how the mushrooms within the fire pit would radiate a brighter glow on certain nights, their luminance pulsating in harmony with distant murmurs hovering just beyond perception. As I delved deeper into the journal's accounts, a subtle shift in the atmosphere enveloped me. The moonlight took on a silvery sheen, casting shadows with newfound depth, while the whispers of the pines grew clearer, though their words remained enigmatic. A gentle sway overcame me, as if guided by an unseen breeze, my breath synchronizing with a hidden rhythm in the air. The journal spoke of a peculiar phenomenon. On nights of the fullest moon, such as tonight, the old fire pit would occasionally mirror the heavens above, transforming into a liquid shadow despite its dry surface. Intrigued by this revelation, I ventured back outside, the journal clasped delicately in my hands. The clearing appeared altered upon my return, though I struggled to discern the exact changes. The arrangement of logs seemed to form intricate patterns unnoticed before, while the mushroom's glow intensified ever so subtly. Drawing nearer to the fire pit, I confirmed the journal's claims. The ancient ashes shimmered with a reflective sheen, mirroring the celestial bodies with uncanny precision. Yet within that mirrored reflection, I discerned anomalies beyond the night sky's configuration. Lights moved with purpose, akin to fireflies orchestrating a silent ballet to a melody unfathomable to mortal ears. Enthralled by the spectacle, I lingered, on the verge of deciphering the pines' whispered secrets, of grasping the essence behind their age-old dialogues. Sinking onto a weathered log, the journal resting open on my lap, I began transcribing my own observations. Time seemed to ebb and flow differently within this realm, blurring the boundaries between observer and observed. Were the lights in the fire pit observing me, or was I the one scrutinizing them? Were the pines divulging their arcane truths, or merely allowing me a glimpse into their eternal murmurs? As dawn approached, veiled in a gentle mist weaving around the tree trunks like liquid silk, I penned a final entry in the journal. I recounted how the mushroom's glow waned imperceptibly, how the whispers gradually melded into the mundane sounds of daybreak, and how the fire pit's reflective surface reverted to unassuming ashes with the encroaching light. Placing the journal reverently back upon its table in the cabin, I acknowledged that despite my meticulous documentation, the full extent of my nocturnal encounter would forever elude comprehension. The pines persisted in their murmurs, now discussing commonplace topics: wind and weather, light and shadow. Yet in moments of reverie, when I shut my eyes, I still sensed the rhythmic cadence of that mystical night, still felt the allure of enigmas content to remain partially veiled, forever beyond complete understanding. Story 2. In a forgotten nook of a neglected library, I stumbled upon a fragile manuscript with aged, yellowed pages teeming with enigmatic footnotes. Each small annotation, scripted in an unfamiliar hand, hinted at a concealed narrative lingering beneath the surface. The musty scent of ancient parchment and ink intertwined with an aura of intrigue, urging me to unravel the hidden lore woven between the lines. The leather binding whispered softly as I turned each brittle page with care, my fingertips skimming centuries of gathered dust. The main text seemed ordinary, a scholarly discourse on medieval folklore, yet the footnotes whispered a different tale. Initially they appeared innocuous, filled with academic citations and brief explanations. However, as I delved deeper into the manuscript, the annotations underwent a transformation. The script in the margins grew urgent, the ink bleeding darker into the weathered paper. References to obscure texts faded into personal reflections, then morphed into what seemed like entries from a diary. The unknown annotator penned accounts of eerie echoes in deserted corridors, of shadows dancing against the light, of murmurs that reverberated in solitude. Hours slipped away in that quiet enclave of the library, encircled by towering shelves that seemed to lean inwards, listening to my every breath. The soft golden glow from the desk lamp bathed the pages in warmth, leaving the spaces between the shelves shrouded in deep shadows. With dusk's approach, the shadows stretched and crept across the floor like a tide of darkness. One footnote captivated me. It alluded to a series of numbers resembling dates, yet following no calendar familiar to me. Beneath them, in slightly trembling script, were the words, "The patterns emerge only in darkness. They speak of what lies between moments, in the spaces where time folds upon itself." These cryptic musings led me to discern peculiar patterns in my own existence. Books materialized on my desk without my intervention. The library seemed to rearrange itself surreptitiously, creating new pathways through the stacks that always led back to the manuscript. The rustle of turning pages would echo through the air, even when the book lay closed before me. The footnotes grew more intimate, as if the annotator sensed they were addressing a future reader, me. They conveyed a heightened awareness, a gradual realization that the manuscript transcended mere paper and ink. The annotations had evolved into a conduit, bridging not just pages but epochs, perhaps centuries. Time blurred as I ventured deeper into the enigmatic marginalia. The library clock's gentle ticking seemed to slow, then halt entirely. The quality of light remained constant despite the hours spent engrossed in reading, as if the sun had paused in its celestial journey. Immersed in a tranquil twilight that never fully yielded to darkness, the footnotes guided me through a labyrinth of references, each linking to the next in an intricate tapestry of meaning. They recounted ancient civilizations that had unraveled the art of folding time like paper, scholars who had deciphered the spaces between words, and libraries existing across multiple moments in history simultaneously. Approaching the final pages, the annotations adopted a serene, contemplative tone. The frenzied energy of earlier notes had transmuted into a placid acceptance. The ultimate footnote simply stated, "To grasp time, one must step beyond it. You, the reader of these words, you have embarked on the journey." When I lifted my gaze from the manuscript, I perceived a shift in the profound silence enveloping me. It felt denser, more resonant, as though the very air brimmed with untold tales. The shadows amid the shelves no longer felt vacant, but alive with subtle motion, akin to curtains stirring in an imperceptible breeze. Now, I frequent the library daily, though the precise moments of my arrival and departure elude me. The manuscript rests where I first discovered it, its contents morphing with each perusal. Occasionally, I glimpse other readers in the periphery of my vision, scholars from diverse eras, all drawn to the enigmatic footnotes. We exchange no words, yet I sense their presence as faint echoes in my thoughts. The true essence of the manuscript remains elusive, yet I've come to realize that certain mysteries are meant to be experienced rather than unraveled. In those serene interludes amid the shelves, enveloped by the murmurs of ancient pages, I've unearthed a different wisdom, one existing in the gaps between our perceived knowledge and uncharted realms of discovery. I persist in reading, and the footnotes persist in guiding me through their maze of significance. Perhaps, someday, you too will encounter this manuscript. When you do, remember that the most profound mysteries are not those unraveled through revelation, but those that evoke wonder through their gentle enigma. Story 3. In the depths of the night, I found myself drawn to an abandoned arcade at the city's edge. The neon lights flickered sporadically, casting fleeting shadows over forgotten game machines. Amidst the hushed stillness, a subtle hum emanated from the darkness, weaving a tranquil melody in the air. The faint aroma of stale popcorn and bygone excitement lingered, as if the arcade pulsated with echoes of joy and wistful reminiscences. Running my fingers along the dusty, curved surfaces of the game cabinets, I felt the intricate textures hidden beneath layers of neglect. Each step I took left soft imprints in the thin carpet of gray powder coating the floor. My breath melded with the gentle electrical hum that permeated the space, creating a strangely soothing cadence. In the dim light, I discerned faded artwork on the machines, fantastical realms and characters reduced to ethereal outlines. Some screens flickered weakly, displaying fragmented images that danced like elusive dreams. One game in particular captured my intrigue, an aged racing game with a weathered leather seat and a steering wheel that seemed to move ever so slightly on its own. As I ventured further into the arcade, the temperature dropped noticeably, and the hum intensified, now resembling a distant choir singing in harmony. I found myself swaying to its melodious pulse, my footsteps syncing with its enigmatic rhythm. The air brimmed with possibility, blurring the line between reality and fantasy in this forsaken haven. Exploring a narrow hallway leading to a forgotten maintenance area, I encountered vintage posters promoting games of yore. Each creak of the floorboards beneath my feet added a whisper to the arcade's enigmatic symphony. The hum seemed to react to my presence, shifting in tone and intensity with my movements. At the corridor's end loomed an ancient wooden door, its peeling paint forming intricate patterns reminiscent of circuitry. The brass handle exuded unexpected warmth, and as I turned it, the humming swelled, enveloping my senses. The door opened into a small room suffused with a gentle blue light. Arcade motherboards adorned the walls, their LED lights blinking in cryptic patterns. In the room's center stood an archaic computer terminal, its screen alive with scrolling text, a blend of game code and something deeper. The hum pulsed from the machine, causing dust particles to dance in the air like celestial bodies. Drawn to the mesmerizing display, I settled into the weathered operator's chair. The text on the screen formed intricate patterns, hinting at elusive meanings like half-remembered dreams. My fingers hovered over the aged keyboard, and as if guided by an unseen force, I began to type. The hum harmonized with the rhythm of my keystrokes, merging human and machine in a hypnotic duet. Time lost its hold in that ethereal chamber. The blue light seeped into my being, the hum resonating in my very bones. I transcribed ancient tales, unreal game worlds, and forgotten dreams. The machine responded with its own narratives, conveyed through fragments of code and bursts of static that conveyed profound truths. Upon rising from the chair, my limbs felt stiff, the passage of time a mystery. The hum had woven itself into my essence, its subtle fluctuations now my sole companion. The arcade no longer felt forsaken, but expectant, as if awaiting a revelation. Tracing my steps back through the arcade, I felt a gentle surge of electricity from the machines in response to my touch. The racing game's steering wheel lay dormant, yet its screen portrayed a road stretching into eternity under a digital dawn. At the exit, I cast one final glance back. The neon lights no longer flickered erratically, but bathed the arcade in a warm, steady glow. The hum had transformed into a soft purr, akin to a slumbering electronic giant. A knowing settled within me. I would return, beckoned by the harmonious silence and the promise of undiscovered tales nestled between games. Stepping outside, the hum lingered, a subtle vibration in my chest, a reminder of that enigmatic symphony. In the quiet pre-dawn hours, I still feel its call, the perfect blend of memory and mystery, forever resonating in the deserted arcade's depths. Story 4. On a chilly, misty evening, I sought refuge at a forgotten bus stop hidden on a desolate street. Standing beneath the feeble glow of a solitary street lamp, a soft, rhythmic murmur began to drift from the surrounding shadows. The mingled scents of rain-drenched pavement and damp foliage gave the sound a haunting closeness, hinting at a hidden sorrow of the night. The gentle patter of rain on the metal roof provided a soothing accompaniment to my solitude. I eased onto the worn wooden bench, smoothed by years of patient waiting. The aged timetable board, barely readable beneath layers of time and neglect, whispered tales of long discontinued routes. My breath formed wispy clouds in the crisp air as I tuned into the enigmatic murmur that grew increasingly distinct. Initially, I mistook it for the wind playing with the rusted metal structure of the shelter, or perhaps the distant rumble of traffic. Yet there was a deliberate quality to its rhythm, like a conversation held just beyond comprehension. The sound carried fragments of words, incomplete phrases that danced at the edge of understanding. The flicker of the street lamp above me briefly cast shifting shadows that seemed to move with purposeful intent. In that moment, I noticed something peculiar about the bench where I sat. Intricate patterns, almost hidden, had been carefully carved into the wood, revealed only when the light caught them at the perfect angle. They resembled numbers, or perhaps dates, etched with meticulous precision by unfamiliar hands. As my fingers traced these mysterious markings, the murmur shifted its source. It no longer emanated from the shadows, but seemed to resonate from within the bench itself, vibrating through the wood and into my very core. The sensation was not unsettling, but strangely comforting, like a lullaby in an unfamiliar tongue. Each number I touched subtly altered the pitch and cadence of the sound. The rain continued its gentle melody, and I found myself swaying imperceptibly to the strange harmony of water and whispers. The air grew heavy with an unexplainable warmth despite the autumn chill, carrying hints of summer blossoms and sun-kissed wood. It felt as though the bus stop existed in its own timeless pocket, where seasons and memories intertwined in a mysterious blend. I noticed my watch had halted, its hands frozen at an improbable angle between digits. Instead of disturbing me, This realization felt like a natural part of the enigmatic encounter. The boundaries between reality and dream began to blur, as delicate as moth wings brushing against my consciousness. The murmur gradually evolved into a more structured form, though still indecipherable. It evoked the cacophony of multiple conversations overlapping in a crowded room, each voice seeming to belong to the same speaker across different moments in time. I closed my eyes, allowing the whispers to envelop me like gentle waves. In this state of serene awareness, images started to materialize in my mind, fleeting glimpses of past waiting passengers, each leaving an invisible mark on this modest shelter. Their stories seemed to seep from the very walls, carried by the mysterious murmur that had drawn me into its embrace. An elderly woman with compassionate eyes clasping a letter to her chest, a young man in an outdated uniform, anxiously checking his watch, a child in a yellow raincoat, tracing patterns in the condensation on the glass. Each vision felt as tangible as my own presence, yet as ethereal as morning mist. The glow of the street lamp took on a liquid quality, pooling around my feet in mesmerizing ways. The numbers etched into the bench began to emit a faint luminescence, creating intricate patterns that danced across my skin. Time seemed to flow differently in this place, like honey dripping from a spoon, sweet and unhurried. When I finally opened my eyes, I realized the rain had ceased, though I couldn't recall when. The murmur had softened to a barely perceptible hum, akin to the lingering echo of a dream. The air retained that curious warmth, and the carved numbers continued their subtle glow, yet a shift had occurred in the atmosphere. Standing up from the bench, I felt changed somehow, as if I had been initiated into a secret shared by all who had waited there before me. The mysterious murmur had not unveiled any concrete message or meaning, yet I felt enriched by its presence, touched by something ancient and perpetually new. As I readied to depart, my reflection caught my eye in the rain-streaked glass of the shelter. For an instant, it seemed to blend with the ghostly images of past passengers, our features merging in the dim light. Reaching out to touch the cool surface, the murmur briefly rose again, like a parting embrace. Walking away from the bus stop, I carried with me an unwavering sense that I had encountered something profound yet indefinable. Though the murmur may have faded, its echo lingered, a gentle reminder that certain mysteries are meant to be experienced and cherished in their exquisite uncertainty. Story 5. In the depths of my attic, amid a sea of forgotten treasures, a relic lay hidden, a weathered antique radio, its dial worn smooth by time, its speakers silent, until one fateful night when it stirred to life with a crackle of static. From the hushed shadows emerged faint, fragmented voices and distant melodies, carrying with them the bittersweet essence of aged metal and lost dreams. Each note that floated through the air felt like a whisper from a past yearning to be remembered, a melody of nostalgia echoing in the stillness of the night. Drawn by an invisible thread, I found myself returning to the attic time and time again after that enchanted night. The space held a certain allure, with dust motes pirouetting in the moonlight that filtered through the dusty window. The floorboards, weathered and worn, whispered softly beneath my feet as I approached the corner where the radio sat on an aged oak table, its mahogany surface dulled by decades of devoted service. As twilight descended, painting the sky in soft hues, I settled into the worn leather armchair beside the radio, the routine as familiar as breathing. With a gentle hand, I would switch on the brass dial, watching as the vacuum tubes cast an amber glow that bathed the room in a warm light, waiting in anticipation. Some nights, only the soft hiss of static greeted me, a lullaby of white noise reminiscent of a gentle rain falling outside. But on those special evenings, when the air shimmered with possibilities, the magic unfolded. The music would begin its ethereal dance, not in a sudden crescendo, but in a gradual unfurling from the static, like a photograph developing in the dark room of time. The melodies were a tapestry of the unfamiliar, a waltz that seemed to float on unseen currents, jazz pieces whispering of bygone smoke-filled rooms, and voices singing in languages alien yet achingly familiar. One autumn evening, as the winds whispered through the trees, a shift occurred in the radio's transmission. Amidst the musical tapestry, I discerned soft, clear words seeping through the air. Remember the garden, remember the dance, remember the promise. The voice, neither male nor female, young nor old, carried a warmth that stirred a recognition deep within my soul. Compelled by this enigmatic connection, I began chronicling these nocturnal transmissions in a journal, noting the lunar phases, the weather patterns, seeking elusive patterns in the symphony of the night. The pages filled with descriptions of songs that seemed to respond to my unspoken thoughts, of voices whispering of memories both alien and intimately known. Winter descended with its long nights and veils of shadows, yet I remained cocooned in the embrace of the radio's melodies. Sometimes in the quiet hours, I would drift off in the armchair, only to awaken later to find the radio still murmuring its secrets, weaving its ethereal threads into the tapestry of my dreams. On a night veiled in snow, when the world outside was cloaked in white silence, the radio spoke directly to me, unfurling details of my childhood long buried in the recesses of memory. The hue of my first bicycle, the name of a cherished pet, the tune my grandmother hummed while baking. Instead of fear, a profound sense of tranquility enveloped me, as if I were being gently guided back to my essence. As the months wove a tapestry of change in my life, colors grew more vibrant, memories more vivid, dreams more poignant. The radio's influence transcended its enigmatic transmissions, stirring dormant embers within my being, awakening a melody that resonated with the rhythm of my soul. Some nights, the radio fell into a tranquil hush, and in those moments of stillness, I pondered the mysteries of existence. How many layers of reality coexisted beyond our perception? How many unseen frequencies wove the fabric of life, just beyond the threshold of awareness? The radio, a conduit to unseen realms, felt less a mere contraption and more a portal to dimensions paralleling our own. I refrained from dissecting its inner workings, sensing that its magic, whether real or imagined, dwelled not in its mechanisms but in the interstice between reality and reverie. Perhaps it was not the radio itself that held enchantment, but the way it attuned me to frequencies latent within. Now as I pen these words, the radio continues its nightly serenade, a symphony of enigmas that remain unsolved. Yet in the whispers between songs, in the gentle crackle of its speakers, I have unearthed a different kind of truth, one that speaks to the heart's recesses, to the memories that linger beyond the reach of conscious thought. The amber glow of the vacuum tubes has become my beacon in the night, and the soft murmur of the radio my lullaby to the realm of dreams. In the quiet before slumber claims me, I wonder if, somewhere in the vast expanse, another soul listens to their own enigmatic radio, entwining their story with mine in an eternal dance of sound and memory, a serenade that echoes through the tapestry of the night. Story 6. Nestled in a forgotten corner of time, within a weathered workshop cloaked in shadows of a bygone era, I stumbled upon a broken clock, its inner workings laid bare like a whisper of the past. The air hung heavy with the scent of age and industry, a symphony of oil and rust that mingled with the soft hum of memories suspended in the stillness. The workshop, an ancient sentinel of craftsmanship, beckoned me in with its creaking door, offering a glimpse into a world frozen in time. Moonbeams danced through dusty panes, painting intricate patterns of light upon worn workbenches that bore the echoes of skilled hands long gone. Each step I took upon the aged pine floor released a sigh of history, a gentle reminder of forgotten artistry interwoven with the essence of time itself. Surrounded by a multitude of timepieces, each telling its own silent tale, my gaze was drawn to a mantel clock, its face cracked like a spider's web. holding secrets within its brass frame. As I settled into the embrace of an old craftsman's chair, a peculiar discovery awaited me. Despite its disconnected state, the clock's second hand would sporadically quiver, a subtle dance defying the laws of time. Was it a trick of the light, or a glimpse into the mysteries that lay dormant within this broken timepiece? Intrigued, I reached out to touch the clock's face, only to be met with a warmth that transcended the chill of the workshop. A tingling awareness crept up my arm, carrying with it visions not my own. Sunlight flooded the space, the symphony of ticking clocks harmonizing in a chorus of ages past. An old craftsman, his hands a blur of expertise, worked tirelessly on the intricate mechanism before me, unraveling a tapestry of time that whispered of possibilities yet unexplored. The brass gears, etched with cryptic symbols, gleamed with an ethereal light, guiding me through a realm where time flowed not in a linear fashion, but in a complex web of interconnected moments. The workshop itself seemed to shift, its boundaries blurring as shadows danced in a surreal waltz of past and present. Transparent figures flitted through the space, their presence a reminder of the timeless nature of the workshop's soul. Bound by an unseen force, my hand remained tethered to the broken clock, a conduit to a realm where time was but a fragile illusion. The air crackled with energy, a symphony of chimes mingling with the whispers of the past. As the night deepened, the ticking of the clock grew fainter, drawing me further into the tapestry of time. Past, present, and future intertwined, their threads weaving a tapestry of infinite potential. When I finally withdrew my hand, the workshop settled back into its slumber, its secrets once more shrouded in mystery. Yet a transformation had taken place, a shift in perception that lingered in the air like a silent promise. The broken clock, a vessel of forgotten dreams, pulsed with life, a beacon of endless possibility waiting to be unraveled by a curious soul. In the quiet hours that followed, I returned to the workshop, a sanctuary of time and memory where magic lingered in the shadows. The broken clock, a testament to imperfection, stood as a reminder that beauty could be found in the cracks of existence, where the mundane met the extraordinary. And as moonlight bathed the workshop in its gentle glow, I listened for the faint echo of ticking, a reminder that time was but a fleeting illusion, a dance of moments that wove together the tapestry of existence in a symphony of eternal grace. Story 7. High above the bustling city, a hidden rooftop garden unveiled itself to me on a forgotten building. Soft, mysterious lanterns illuminated vibrant plants and blooming flowers, casting an ethereal glow that seemed to belong to another realm. The mingled scents of fresh blossoms and city rain stirred a sense of wonder, creating a sanctuary where urban chaos intertwined with gentle magic. It was one autumn evening when I first glimpsed the garden's ethereal light from my apartment window. The sky had turned to deep velvet, and the air carried the crisp scent of falling leaves. The gentle pulsing glow drew me in with its mysterious radiance, like a peaceful breath beckoning me to explore its secrets. Night after night, I found myself captivated by the garden's gentle luminescence dancing among the shadows. Weeks passed before I uncovered the hidden stairwell leading to the rooftop. The metal door opened with a soft whisper, revealing a world suspended between reality and dreams. Mist curled around my feet as I stepped onto the weathered wooden planks of the garden path. Each creak of the boards released the faint scent of rain-soaked cedar, guiding me deeper into this enchanted space. Unseen breezes swayed flowers I had never seen before, their petals emitting a subtle glow that painted the air in soft pastels. Ornate lanterns hung from ancient iron posts, their light resembling neither electric nor flame, but something entirely different. A celestial essence captured in morning dew. Peculiar details emerged as I wandered further. The plants seemed to acknowledge my presence, their leaves subtly turning to follow my movements. The air grew thick with the sweet perfume of night-blooming flowers, each blossom shifting and changing as if refusing to be fully perceived. Beside a small pond reflecting the mysterious lights, shapes moved within its depths, not fish, but fleeting patterns of light resembling thoughts slipping away at the edge of sleep. The water held a warmth incongruous with the cool evening air, and bubbles of light rose to the surface, only to dissolve into the mist. Time behaved strangely in the garden, stretching and compressing as if playing tricks on my senses. I returned night after night, drawn by a comfort I couldn't quite explain, enveloped in the peaceful ambiance that felt like a soft embrace. One evening, I discovered a weathered stone bench hidden behind a curtain of luminescent vines. Intricate symbols carved into its surface seemed to shift and change, telling stories just beyond my grasp. The garden's mysterious music, a whispered symphony at the edge of hearing, added to the enchantment. Occasionally, I found objects left behind by unknown visitors: a glowing pearl button, a warm brass key, a piece of paper with shifting script. These remnants hinted at others who knew of the garden's existence, yet I never encountered a soul in this ethereal realm. As the seasons shifted, so did the garden, defying natural laws with blooms of impossible colors and dancing leaves out of sync with the calendar. The mist lingered, as did the gentle glow that had first lured me to this magical space. I continued to visit the garden, embracing its mysteries without seeking to unravel them. Some questions are better left as gentle wonderings, I've realized. This rooftop sanctuary has become my refuge, where reality and dreams blend seamlessly, time flows like honey, and the chaos below fades into insignificance. Among the luminescent blooms, I catch glimpses of other gardens in the lantern's reflections, similar sanctuaries existing between the known and the unknown. Perhaps this rooftop garden is but one of many secret havens scattered across the world, waiting for those who seek solace. The gentle pulse of light against the night sky calls out to others, as it once called to me. While the garden's magic and existence remain veiled in mystery, I found peace in experiencing rather than explaining its wonders. In this enchanted space high above the city, I've learned that true contentment comes from embracing the questions, not from seeking answers. Story 8. Late one night, I found myself drawn to an abandoned cinema, its marquee a faint echo of forgotten grandeur. Inside, the darkness enveloped me, broken only by the flickering glow of a solitary projector. Images danced across the weathered screen, telling tales of a past long gone. The air was thick with the mingling scents of popcorn and dust, whispering secrets of bygone days. I settled into a velvet seat, the fabric sighing beneath me as if welcoming a weary traveler. The projector hummed a soft melody, a hypnotic rhythm that beckoned me deeper into the theater's embrace. Dust motes swirled in the light, weaving intricate patterns that hinted at untold stories. Shadows stirred at the edge of my vision, fluid and elusive, like memories drifting just out of reach. On the screen, scenes unfolded from a distant era, black and white images that felt strangely intimate, as if peering into someone's private world. A mysterious woman moved through the frame, her face always veiled, her presence hauntingly familiar yet enigmatic. She wandered through fleeting moments, a garden party, a dimly lit restaurant, a rainy street, forever in search of something elusive. A whisper brushed against my ear, carrying fragments of words lost to the ages. The room's temperature shifted, creating currents of warmth and coolness that caressed my skin. The leather armrests retained a phantom warmth, as though another presence lingered beside me. The film played on, revealing subtle inconsistencies that whispered of hidden truths. The sound of breathing filled the theater, a soft, steady rhythm that echoed in my own chest. The woman on the screen mirrored my movements, a ghostly reflection of my own presence in that dimly lit chamber. The scent of jasmine hung heavy in the air, mingling with the musty perfume of old memories. Each breath carried a melody of sorrow, a melancholy that tugged at my heartstrings with a familiar ache. The woman on the screen mirrored my own restless movements, a dance of shadows and light. Suddenly, the scene shifted, revealing the theater itself in its former glory. The woman appeared scattered throughout the audience, a ghostly figure in search of a perfect view. As I reached between the cushions, my fingers brushed against a leather-bound diary, its pages filled with cryptic entries that spoke of endless quests for resolution. The projector's light dimmed, casting a soft glow over the diary's faded pages. The words danced before my eyes, a tale of longing and loss that spanned generations. The final entry, penned just before my arrival, hinted at a conclusion left unfinished, a mystery left unsolved. As the film reached its enigmatic end, the woman turned towards the camera, her face forever hidden behind a veil of static. The screen faded to black, leaving me in a silence broken only by the dim glow of exit signs. Leaving the diary in its rightful place, I felt a presence beside me, a touch both real and ethereal. The scent of jasmine lingered for a moment, then vanished into the night. In the lobby, a figure in a vintage dress beckoned from the darkness, a silent farewell that spoke of stories left untold. Even now, the scent of jasmine lingers in the air, a reminder of that mysterious night in the abandoned cinema. In the flickering light of old films, I sense unseen eyes watching, waiting for a kindred spirit to share in the beauty of unfinished tales. And in those moments, I know that some stories are meant not to end, but to be passed on, whispered in the shadows of a forgotten theater. Story 9. On a misty evening, I wandered past an abandoned playground. The rusted swings swayed gently, emitting soft creaks in harmony with the breeze. In the midst of the chill, a faint, almost imperceptible laughter caught my attention, a lingering echo of joyous voices that once frolicked in the air. The cool aroma of damp grass mingled with the scent of aged metal, weaving a tapestry of memories that seemed to saturate the very essence of the playground. I felt a magnetic pull towards a weathered bench near the slide, its wooden surface worn smooth by the countless parents who had sat there watching their children play. The playground equipment's metal frame cast elongated shadows in the dim light, forming intricate patterns that appeared to dance and shift when glimpsed from the corner of my eye. A gentle breeze whispered through the surrounding trees, carrying the sweet, earthy fragrance of autumn leaves on its breath. Initially, I convinced myself that I was merely taking a different route home, seeking solace and reflection after a taxing day. However, the tranquil seclusion of the playground beckoned me back night after night, each visit unveiling new layers of its enigmatic aura. It became my sanctuary, a place where time seemed to flow in a unique cadence. One particularly serene evening, settled on my accustomed bench, I noticed a peculiar phenomenon concerning the carousel. Despite no visible interaction, the metal horse figures appeared to gleam with an unusual warmth, as though recently touched by small, eager hands. A subtle static lingered in the air around them, reminiscent of the aftermath of children's laughter lingering in the silence. As the weeks passed, subtle changes began to manifest in the playground. The swings would sway gently without a hint of a breeze, and faint footprints would materialize in the morning dew, only to vanish as the sun ascended higher in the sky. Sometimes, the metal slide, chilled by the evening mist, would unexpectedly radiate warmth under my touch, as if someone had just descended its length. I started to carry a notebook, documenting these peculiar occurrences. Patterns emerged as I delved deeper into my observations. The spectral laughter, initially faint, appeared to adhere to a schedule, almost becoming audible at specific times of the evening, particularly during full moons and the encroachment of mist from the nearby woods. It lingered just at the edge of perception, akin to a whisper in a dream, never quite attainable. The other regular visitors to the park, mostly dog walkers and joggers, remained oblivious to these anomalies. They passed through swiftly, their gazes gliding past the playground equipment as if it were a mere mirage. However, I discerned differently. I came to realize that this place held something extraordinary, unveiling itself solely to those willing to listen and observe with earnestness. One evening, a small red ball sat motionless atop the carousel platform. As I drew near, it shifted slightly, as if nudged by an unseen force. A palpable sense of anticipation permeated the air, and for an instant, I swore I heard children's melodies hummed just beyond my auditory grasp. The ball rolled in a perfect circle around the carousel's center pole, each movement steeped in a mystique that transcended the tangible. That night, I lingered longer than usual, entranced by the ascent of the moon above the trees. The playground equipment cast shadows that appeared to possess a life of their own, while the swings swayed in harmonious unison, synchronizing with the rhythm of my heartbeat. The elusive laughter, not louder but more profound in essence, enveloped me like a warm embrace. In that moment, a profound realization washed over me. The playground was not haunted in the conventional sense. It was enshrined, frozen in a snapshot of unadulterated delight. The inaudible laughter I strained to hear embodied the essence of every child who had frolicked there, their joy imprinted on the space, like a photograph exposed to light. The enigmatic phenomena were not intended to evoke fear, but to serve as a poignant reminder of the enchantment that thrives where innocence and imagination once reigned supreme. Months later, I continue to frequent my cherished playground nearly every evening. I have learned to discern the subtle indications that herald the peak of the inaudible laughter, a certain quality in the mist, a specific hue of twilight, a pregnant stillness that hangs in the air. Occasionally, I bring a book and read aloud softly to the vacant playground, and on those nights the swings sway with purpose, the carousel horses exude a regal air, and the laughter, though beyond the scope of my hearing, feels closer than ever before. I have kept this tale close to my heart, as I understand how improbable it might seem, cherishing the clandestine bond I share with a place suspended between recollection and enchantment. The playground has imparted to me that certain enigmas are not meant to be unraveled, but rather savored and experienced. And so, I persist in my nocturnal excursions, content to be the sole witness to a spectacle that unfolds in whispers and shadows, accompanied by laughter that resonates just beyond human perception. Story 10. In the deep hush of a moonlit night, my journey along a deserted highway was punctuated by the stark silhouette of an ancient radio tower against the night sky. The crackling of my car radio mingled with the stillness, interrupted by a faint to rhythmic pulse that seemed to carry a hidden significance. A cool breeze, heavy with the scent of metal and distant storms, whispered secrets of bygone eras, as if the tower itself whispered of forgotten tales. Intrigued, I felt compelled to pull over, my curiosity a magnetic force drawing me closer to the enigmatic structure. As I switched off my car's engine, the hum of its power faded, leaving only the gentle rustle of wind through the grass and the persistent, rhythmic static emanating from my radio. The signal, once a mere murmur, now danced in the air with a pattern that hinted at Morse code, yet different in its enigmatic cadence. The tower stood tall and proud, a solitary sentinel under the deep indigo sky, its warning lights extinguished long ago. Rust had claimed its surface, painting intricate designs that seemed almost purposeful in their decay. Watching as clouds drifted lazily across the moon, casting shifting shadows that lent an illusion of movement to the tower, I felt a sense of familiarity in the signal's rhythm. It evoked memories that seemed to echo from a distant past, like a half-remembered melody from childhood. Closing my eyes, I surrendered to the hypnotic sound, trying to grasp the elusive thread that connected me to its haunting melody. The static ebbed and flowed like gentle waves, carrying whispers of almost recognizable words that teased the edges of comprehension. Fumbling for my phone to capture this mysterious broadcast, I found it unresponsive, its screen shrouded in darkness despite being fully charged. The air grew heavy with anticipation, tingling with an electric energy that seemed to hold the very essence of the night. A veil of mist enveloped the base of the tower, soft and ethereal, as if nature itself conspired to cloak the structure in secrecy. Entranced by the signal's mesmerizing pulse, memories unfurled before me, vivid and poignant, yet not entirely my own. I glimpsed scenes of people huddled in a control room, their voices urgent, their mission clear but shrouded in mystery. The aroma of coffee mingled with the mechanical hum of analog equipment, painting a vivid tableau of a bygone era. The mist thickened, veiling the tower in a ghostly shroud, while the signal's pattern subtly shifted, revealing morsels of its encoded message. Numbers and dates flitted through my mind, accompanied by scientific jargon and cryptic coordinates. It was evident that these enigmatic transmissions held a profound truth, waiting patiently for an interpreter to decipher their meaning. Time lost its grip on me as I sat in the cocoon of sound and mist, the chill of the night seeping into my bones. Each pulse of static felt like a piece of an intricate puzzle, a puzzle that had languished in obscurity for decades, yearning for someone to unlock its secrets. A warm, amber glow emanated from the tower's base, pulsating in harmony with the rhythmic signal, casting a spellbinding light show that mirrored the tempo of my breath. Transfixed by the dance of light and sound, I felt my eyelids grow heavy as the signal morphed into a melodic lullaby, weaving a tapestry of memories that were not mine alone. With the approach of dawn, the mist began to dissipate, and the signal faded into silence, leaving the tower standing stoic and silent, its enigmas shrouded in layers of rust and history. As the first light of day painted the sky in pastel hues, my phone blinked back to life, bearing missed calls from concerned loved ones. The events of the night seemed to blur into the realm of dreams, a surreal tapestry woven from whispers of the past. Setting forth on the empty highway, a subtle shift had occurred within me. The echo of the signal's rhythm lingered, a soft hum beneath the surface of my thoughts, beckoning me back to unlock more of its enigmatic narrative. Certain frequencies, once tuned into, become a part of our essence, resonating within us like a hidden melody waiting to be rediscovered. On quiet nights, when the breeze carries a hint of mystery, I catch fleeting echoes of that enigmatic signal amidst the static of radio waves. It serves as a reminder that the world still harbors enigmas, waiting patiently for those willing to pause, listen, and unravel the threads of the past. The tower stands as a monument to those who came before, their message encoded within the endless waves of static, a timeless invitation for the right soul to decode its whispered truths. Story 11. Cruising along a rugged coastline, my gaze fixated on an abandoned lighthouse defiantly standing against the relentless crash of waves. Its once vibrant red paint now faded, its ancient stones weathered and worn with time, emanating a silent sorrow, as if it harbored the grief of lost sailors and forgotten dreams. Amidst the haunting howl of the wind and the briny tang of the sea, a soft, mournful whisper floated through the air, a melancholic melody carried by the cloak of night. Compelled by an unseen force, I veered my car to the side of the road, the headlights casting long, eerie shadows along the worn path leading to the lighthouse. Each pebble crunched softly beneath my feet as I approached, my steps deliberate as if treading on sacred ground. The twilight air bore a peculiar heaviness, laden with the weight of history and emotion. In the dimming light, wisps of mist twirled around the tower's base, like ethereal tendrils reaching towards the heavens. To my surprise, the door yielded to my touch, swinging open with a mournful groan, the hinges emitting a low, haunting hum that harmonized with the whisper from before. Inside, the atmosphere was dense, with the scent of aged timber and sea salt, intermingled with a hint of sweetness, perhaps the lingering essence of lamp oil from a bygone era. Ascending the spiral staircase, my hand trailing along the cool metal railing, each footfall reverberated with a hollow echo through the vacant space. The wooden steps, polished smooth by the passage of time, murmured softly in acknowledgement of my presence. Through salt-stained windows I glimpsed the darkening sky painted in deep hues of purple and blue, pulsing with an otherworldly energy. The keeper's quarters, nestled just below the lantern room, seemed frozen in time. Dust particles danced in the beam of my flashlight, swirling like miniature constellations. An open logbook lay on a weathered desk, its pages tinged yellow with age, the final entry made decades ago. Yet, it was the gentle sway of a rocking chair by the window that drew my focus, moving ever so slightly in the stagnant air. As my eyes adjusted to the dim light, I noticed the photographs adorning the walls. Countless images captured the lighthouse at various times, seasons changing, but the central figure remained constant. A woman in a flowing gown, her gaze fixed upon the sea, her essence captured in eternal anticipation. With each picture, she exuded a sense of longing, of watching, of yearning. The whisper persisted as I ascended to the lantern room, a phantom echo of a voice resonating with notes of longing and patience. Dominating the circular space, the massive Fresnel lens refracted the waning twilight into a myriad of rainbow fragments, a spectacle of spectral beauty. I marveled at the pristine condition of the lens, a stark contrast to the neglect that surrounded it. Enraptured by the rhythmic cadence of distant waves below, a haunting melody began to fill the room. Crystal clear notes, pure and resonant, emanated from the very core of the lighthouse, evoking a profound sadness that tugged at my heartstrings. The song spoke of endless nights spent in vigil, of ships lost to the abyss, of a love that endured beyond the veil of death. A sudden chill enveloped me, and a presence, unseen yet palpable, lingered beside me. The air carried the scent of lavender and salty spray, and in the reflection of the lens, a ghostly image of a woman in a pale gown appeared, her eyes fixed on the horizon. But when I turned, she vanished, leaving only the echo of her sorrowful song and the whisper of the wind. Respecting the solemnity of the moment, I descended the staircase with measured steps, the photographs now revealing a clearer visage of the woman, her countenance a blend of hope and resignation. It dawned on me then that she was not held captive within these walls. She had chosen to remain, a steadfast guardian of the light. Sitting in my car, gazing up at the emerging stars above the lighthouse, the whisper lingered, no longer eerie but comforting. It served as a gentle reminder that certain bonds transcend time, that some duties endure beyond the confines of mortality. Even now, on hushed nights when the wind carries a familiar tune, I sense her presence, standing vigil in her lantern room, a beacon of solace for lost souls and a guardian of eternal love. Haunted not by fear but by a profound sense of duty and devotion, this lighthouse stands as a testament to the enduring power of love, duty, and memory, echoing through the corridors of time like a whispered lullaby. Story 12. As twilight draped its veil over the crumbling theater, I found myself drawn to its weathered facade, a silent sentinel of bygone days. Stepping inside, the heavy wooden doors groaned open, as if reluctantly granting me passage into a realm where time held its breath. The air was thick with the perfume of nostalgia, a blend of old velvet and faded dreams. Taking a seat amidst the faded grandeur of the auditorium, I surrendered to the hush that enveloped me, broken only by a faint ethereal laughter that seemed to dance through the shadows like a wisp of smoke. It was a laughter tinged with the melancholy of remembrance, a whisper of joy echoing through the empty rows of red velvet seats. The theater, though abandoned, hummed with a quiet energy, a reverberation of past performances and forgotten applause. Dust motes pirouetted in the slanting rays of light that filtered through cracked windows, casting ephemeral patterns on the time-worn stage below. In the stillness, I became attuned to the subtle murmurs of the forgotten past, the rustle of phantom costumes, the soft tread of invisible feet, the whisper of pages turning in a script long since relegated to memory. These sounds, far from unsettling, cocooned me in a blanket of spectral comfort, as if the very walls of the theater whispered tales of nights long past. Time lost its grip within those walls, stretching and contracting like a symphony played on strings of memory. Shadows cast by the dying light took on a life of their own, forming ghostly silhouettes of an imagined audience, their presence almost palpable in the fading glow. As evening descended, the theater stirred with a spectral life of its own. The air shimmered with unseen movements, the stage lights casting a ghostly glow upon the empty boards, a faint echo of performances long concluded. Drawn inexorably to the stage, I ascended the worn steps, each creak echoing in the vast emptiness. Standing at its center, I felt the weight of unseen eyes upon me, the air pregnant with the anticipation of a performance that had long since ended. Among the detritus of forgotten productions, I glimpsed traces of lives once lived, a discarded glove, a tarnished mirror, a script yellowed with age. The mirror, clouded with time, occasionally flickered with reflections of a world just beyond reach, a world alive with the echoes of bygone dramas. "Is anyone there?" I whispered into the silence, my voice swallowed by the darkness that enveloped me. In response, a symphony of whispers rose around me, a tapestry of sound woven from the threads of memory and emotion. As I prepared to depart, the theater clung to me like a lover reluctant to say goodbye. The path back seemed to shift and elongate, shadows coalescing into barriers that impeded my retreat. Yet, as I finally stepped into the night, I understood that the theater was not empty at all. It was a vessel overflowing with stories, a repository of moments frozen in time. And as I walked away, the laughter of the theater lingered in my ears, a reminder that some places are more than brick and mortar. They are living, breathing entities, waiting for a willing listener to unlock the secrets hidden within their walls. Story 13. As I sifted through the forgotten treasures of the attic, my fingers brushed against a dusty canvas hidden behind an old trunk. The painting, incomplete yet captivating, depicted a figure caught in the throes of transformation, a dance of light and shadow that felt oddly familiar. The air was heavy with the scent of aged paper and memories long past. I settled into a weathered chair, the soft light from the attic window painting gentle patterns on the floor. The portrait before me seemed to shimmer, its edges blending into the raw canvas like whispers in the wind. The face, a delicate balance of clarity and obscurity, held a silent story within its half-finished strokes. The house creaked softly, a lullaby of ancient wood, as I lost myself in the portrait's enigmatic gaze. My fingertips traced the worn frame, tracing the passage of time etched into its grooves. In the eyes of the figure, painted with striking detail, I glimpsed a depth that beckoned me closer, urging me to unravel its mysteries. As evening descended, casting a golden glow upon the attic, I felt a shift in the air, a whisper of autumn on the horizon. I found myself speaking to the portrait, sharing secrets, as though it held the key to forgotten truths. In the fading light, the painting seemed to come alive, its brushstrokes shifting and changing with each passing moment. There was a peculiar magic to the artwork, a fluidity that defied logic as certain details morphed before my eyes. In the growing darkness, the unfinished portions hinted at untold stories, each viewing revealing a new facet of the figure's essence. Time lost its meaning in that attic space, hours slipping away like grains of sand as I delved deeper into the portrait's mysteries. Beneath the canvas, I discovered a faded inscription, "Remember the light changes everything." The words, penned in a dreamlike script, resonated with a truth that seemed to echo through the very walls of the attic. A connection formed between myself and the unknown artist, a bond woven through layers of time and memory. I brought journals and photographs to the attic, laying them out like breadcrumbs around the portrait, searching for clues to its enigmatic subject. The house whispered its secrets, a symphony of murmurs that spoke a language only the heart could understand. On restless nights, I sought solace in the attic's embrace, the moonlight casting a ghostly glow upon the canvas. In those quiet hours, I heard faint whispers drifting from the unfinished spaces, a melody of forgotten dreams and half-remembered tales. The portrait, a reflection of my innermost self, evolved with each passing day, mirroring emotions and memories long buried. Its unfinished state became a canvas for possibility, a doorway to endless variations of what could have been. Seasons changed outside the attic window, painting the world in hues of transformation and renewal. I pondered the portrait's incompleteness, wondering if it was intentional, a deliberate choice to remain forever in a state of becoming. The artist, I realized, understood the power of unfinished stories, how they could transcend time and space to touch the soul of the beholder. I didn't seek answers to the portrait's origins. Instead, I embraced its mystery, becoming its guardian in a realm where time flowed like a river of shadows. The attic became a sanctuary, a haven where the boundaries between reality and imagination blurred into whispers of possibility. Years drifted by, yet I still ascended the attic stairs, drawn to the silent presence that had woven itself into the fabric of my existence. Sometimes I brought a notebook, capturing the dance of light and shadow on the canvas, the ever-shifting essence of the unfinished portrait. But most nights, I simply sat in quiet communion with the enigma before me, feeling the weight of its untold stories in the hushed stillness of the attic. The portrait remained incomplete, a testament to the beauty of imperfection, a reminder that true completion lies in the endless dance of evolution. I learned to cherish the mystery, to embrace the unknown with open arms, allowing each moment with the portrait to unfold like a delicate flower in the gentle light of the attic's dusty embrace. Story 14. On a misty evening, I wandered along a creaking pier that extended into a bay cloaked in fog. The soft lapping of waves and the distant calls of seabirds enveloped me as a mysterious melody filled the air, a symphony whispered by the wind and water. The sea's salty scent mingled with the aged aroma of wood, creating a tranquil atmosphere on the pier, where nature's quiet concert unfolded. Each step I took on the weathered planks echoed softly, blending with the ethereal music that seemed to emanate from the very essence of the surroundings. The fog enveloped me like a gentle, gray shroud as I ventured further, with the mist thickening to create a serene, otherworldly ambience. The time-worn boards groaned beneath my feet, adding their own percussive notes to the haunting yet soothing melody that filled the air. It was like a forgotten lullaby, played on unseen strings that tugged at my senses. The lanterns lining the pier cast warm pools of amber light through the mist, their glow swaying with the evening breeze, painting the surroundings in a mystical hue. Amidst this surreal setting, I noticed a peculiar phenomenon. The railings seemed to vibrate ever so slightly, as if resonating with the enigmatic music that surrounded me. When I reached out to touch the smooth, weathered wood, a subtle tremor greeted my hand, like a lingering echo of a struck tuning fork. Time seemed to slow down in this mystical place, where the world beyond the fog felt distant and muffled. As I delved deeper into the mist, the symphony grew more intricate, weaving together harmonies of wind, water, and a distant, ethereal chorus that blended seamlessly with the surroundings. At the end of the pier stood an old gazebo, barely visible through the swirling fog, its Victorian architecture a ghostly silhouette in the mist. As I drew closer, the mysterious music swelled to a gentle crescendo, the gazebo's ornate railings vibrating in harmony with the melody, each note resonating through the wooden structure like an ancient organ. Inside, intricate patterns adorned the ceiling, spirals and waves seeming to dance in the shifting light of the lanterns. A weathered brass plaque caught my eye, its inscription faded by time and salt air hinting at a forgotten past. In memory of the symphony, it read, along with a date from a bygone era. The gentle music continued to play as I settled on an old wooden bench inside the gazebo, the fog swirling around me in a hypnotic dance that mirrored the melody's rhythm. I found myself swaying gently, lulled by the peaceful cadence of this inexplicable performance. As night descended, the air held a surprising warmth, embracing me like a soft caress. The lantern light pulsed in harmony with the music, illuminating the intricate carvings above in a mesmerizing play of light and shadow. In this dreamlike state between reality and reverie, I realized that the pier itself was a grand instrument, crafted by nature to produce a symphony of wind and wave. The faded inscription on the plaque took on new significance, hinting at a purpose beyond mere function, a tribute to something or someone lost to time. Each evening, under the right conditions, the pier would unveil its symphony, a musical memorial to an enigmatic past. As I prepared to depart, the melody lingered, growing fainter with each step but never truly fading away. A gentle path through the parting fog led me back to shore, yet the rhythm of the music remained within me, a haunting echo of a half-remembered dream. Sometimes, on misty evenings, I return to that pier, where the symphony plays anew, shaped by the whims of weather, tide, and the mysterious nature of its listeners. It is a mystery best left unsolved, a reminder that beauty often lies in the unexplainable. The experience left me pondering, was it a natural phenomenon, a symphony born from wind and architecture? Or had I stumbled upon something extraordinary, a piece of history preserved in the timeless notes of a sea-bound melody echoing through the ages? Story 15. In the quiet embrace of night, a mysterious pull beckoned me towards an old theater on the edge of town. Once a beacon of grandeur, now draped in the shroud of time's decay. Balconies adorned with intricate details, velvet seats whispering secrets of eras long gone. As I crossed the threshold onto the stage, a faint, haunting voice caressed my senses, weaving tales of sorrow and yearning. Its echoes lingered in the air, dancing with the scent of ancient curtains and forgotten aspirations, casting doubt upon the emptiness of the theater. A soft autumn breeze crept through unseen crevices, orchestrating a delicate symphony of rustling papers and distant murmurs. With each step, the stage beneath me groaned softly, as if releasing a sigh of ages past. The atmosphere held a dense nostalgia, as if layers of memories hung suspended in time's embrace. Above me, the chandelier hung in silent vigil, its crystals veiled in dust, yet occasionally catching stray beams of light that painted ethereal patterns on the walls. My curiosity led me to the wing of the stage, where relics of performances long past lay draped in sheets resembling gentle waves under the dim glow. The elusive voice seemed to emanate from this direction, now a mere whisper in the shadows. Amidst the forgotten props, a weathered dressing room mirror caught my eye, its surface aged but shimmering with an otherworldly allure. A chill enveloped the air as I drew closer, the mirror pulsating with an enigmatic energy that defied explanation. In its reflection, ghostly movements played out, as if echoes of bygone actors rehearsing in perpetual twilight. The voice, now clearer, carried the cadence of a woman reciting verses from a tragic love story, her words a melodic blend of solace and wistfulness. Time warped within this forgotten sanctum, minutes stretching into hours as I unearthed relics of the past, crumbling playbills, costumes redolent of a faint perfume. The voice guided me through the forgotten nooks of the theater, where in the orchestra pit, aged sheet music lay scattered on music stands, awaiting the touch of musicians to bring them back to life. With dusk's approach, the shifting light wove elongated shadows that seemed to move with intent across the seats. Seated in a well-preserved velvet chair, I watched as sunlight waned, casting a golden hue over swirling dust motes. The theater pulsed with a quiet vitality, its walls expanding and contracting with the weight of untold tales. In this moment of tranquility, I realized the voice was not directed at me, but at the theater itself, a vessel of remembrance. Each syllable carried echoes of past performances, of joyous ovations and tearful farewells, of beginnings and endings intertwined in a delicate tapestry of memory. As night descended, the voice took on a new depth, resonating from all corners of the theater, enveloping the space in a warm vibration that stirred the very air. Its words, though clear, eluded comprehension, akin to grasping at fragments of a fading dream. The chandelier shimmered with moonlight, casting prismatic hues that danced like ethereal ribbons across the ceiling. Drifting on the cusp of wakefulness and slumber, the voice lulled me into a tranquil state, blurring the line between reality and reverie. In the twilight's embrace, phantom forms of an unseen audience materialized, their presence hinted by interplay of moonbeams and shadows. They sat in silent reverence, captivated by the ethereal voice as much as I. With the deepening night came a profound serenity, as the voice ebbed away like a receding tide, leaving behind a sense of gratitude, a whisper of acknowledgement for bearing witness to the theater's tales. As I rose to depart, the voice lingered as a faint echo in my mind, a memory seared into the fabric of the theater. Though diminished, its essence transformed the space, breathing life into its abandoned corridors. Each step towards the exit echoed a harmony with the aged floorboards, a testament to the enduring presence of untold narratives. Some places, I realized, never truly empty themselves. They wait patiently, cradling their stories until a willing listener arrives. Months passed, yet the theater's allure persisted, drawing me back in the hushed interlude between night and day. The voice remained, sometimes a mere whisper, a gentle nudge to those attuned to its mysteries. It stood as a sanctuary where past and present intertwined, where memories pirouetted like dust motes in the moon's embrace, forever etched in the enigmatic echoes of that spectral voice. Story 16. As I sifted through a forgotten box of art supplies in a quaint thrift store, my fingers brushed against an old, weathered sketchbook, its cover worn and pages yellowed with age. Within its pages lay a collection of intricate blueprints, each line drawn with precision and care, hinting at a structure unknown to me. The scent of graphite and aged paper wafted up, familiar and comforting, as I flipped through the delicate sheets. Night after night, I found myself drawn to my dimly lit study, where the soft glow of my desk lamp cast gentle shadows across the intricate designs. The rain tapping against my window provided a soothing background melody as I traced my fingers over the mysterious blueprints. Curved corridors that seemed to fold into themselves, staircases leading to impossible rooms, and windows capturing light from improbable angles, all meticulously detailed in a script bordering on calligraphy. Amidst the architectural anomalies, marginal notes in faded ink caught my eye. Phrases like threshold spaces and liminal architecture danced across the pages, stirring my imagination. The concept of rooms existing between moments and doorways opening into the spaces we usually dream past intrigued me, leading me down a path of contemplation. In the quiet moments before dawn, I sketched my interpretations of the designs, the scratch of my pencil against paper becoming a meditative rhythm. Lost in a world of mysterious geometries, I felt as though the original artist's hand guided mine, unveiling secrets beyond comprehension. With each delve into the blueprints, my perception of space shifted subtly. Shadows held deeper mysteries, corners curved imperceptibly, and the sounds of my home whispered in a language akin to the architectural enigma before me. One serene night, bathed in moonlight, hidden numbers revealed themselves within the borders of the pages, forming a cryptic pattern that begged to be deciphered. I spent hours transcribing them, entranced by the harmony they evoked, akin to a mathematical sonnet in architectural form. Weeks passed, and the structure in the blueprints invaded my dreams. Walking through its impossible corridors, I felt a peaceful wonder envelop me, as if I traversed a physical meditation. The central chamber, adorned with celestial symbols and musical scales, beckoned me with its promise to harmonize with liminal spaces. As I sit in my study, the shadows outside dancing in perfect alignment with the enigmatic angles of the designs, I ponder if I am unveiling a realm existing just beyond our perception, a sanctuary nestled in the quiet interstices of our reality. The mysterious architect's identity remains elusive, yet their essence permeates every line and note, guiding me towards the ethereal margins of existence. In the lamplight's glow, as rain continues its gentle serenade against my window, I embrace the enigma, knowing that some mysteries are destined to remain unsolved, a dream half remembered, leaving a tranquil echo upon waking. The sketchbook rests heavily on my desk, its secrets waiting to be fully unveiled, as the shadows in my room pulse softly with each distant lightning flash, a reminder of the unseen wonders that linger just beyond reach. Story 17. In the hushed depths of midnight, as I lay nestled in the embrace of my bed, a stray echo caressed my ears, a voice both achingly distant and hauntingly familiar. The soft drone of the air conditioner and the gentle rustle of leaves outside wove together into a spectral symphony, evoking memories of a presence I had long believed vanished. That night, my bedroom held an otherworldly aura. Moonbeams cascaded through the window, casting shimmering silver patterns upon the walls, shapes that seemed to pulse with a life of their own. The air itself bore a peculiar weight, pregnant with anticipation, akin to the pregnant pause before a storm breaks, when the world holds its breath in anticipation. Shadows deepened in the corners, pooling like liquid darkness, whispering secrets among themselves in a language only they could understand. Once more, the voice graced my senses, a delicate whisper riding the edge of perception. Its melody, akin to wind chimes in a soft breeze, carried an undertone of sorrow that tugged at my heart. Slowly I sat up, the blanket slipping from my form with a hushed sigh of fabric caressing fabric. The cool, solid touch of the wooden floor grounded me in reality as my thoughts danced on the fringes of the inexplicable. Every step through my home at night had always been a well-practiced ritual of muscle memory and cautious movements. Yet on this night, each room exuded an unfamiliar essence. The hallway stretched before me, its walls seeming to drink in the feeble light rather than reflect it back. Family photographs observed my passage with distant gazes trapped behind glass, their once familiar faces now distant and aloof. The ethereal voice guided me to my study, where rows of books lined the walls, their spines creating a mosaic of muted colors in the dimness. My old reading chair sat empty, yet an air of anticipation lingered, as though its occupant had just departed. The leather still retained a lingering warmth, and beside it, my grandmother's antique table lamp bathed the room in a soft, pulsating amber glow that seemed to breathe with each whispered utterance. An anomaly caught my eye amidst the collection of vinyl records, a single album slightly ajar, its sleeve bearing the marks of frequent handling. I couldn't recall the last time I had touched it, yet there it stood, a silent messenger awaiting my attention. The dust cover of the record player lay open, though I distinctly remembered closing it the night before. As if guided by an unseen force, my hands lifted the record from its sleeve. The vinyl surface caught the lamp's light, creating mesmerizing concentric circles of reflection that spiraled towards the center, beckoning me with a hypnotic allure. Setting it upon the turntable, the needle descended into the groove unbidden, and music filled the room, not the expected symphony, but the soothing sounds of rain pattering on a tin roof, mingling with distant piano notes that seemed to echo from the depths of memory itself. The voice interwove with these melodies, now more distinct, reciting words that felt like fragmented whispers from a dream. It painted images of summer evenings on a porch swing, of promises exchanged under star-studded skies, and of time slipping away like grains of sand through gentle fingertips. My grandmother's antique clock ticked on steadily in the corner, its brass pendulum marking time with a solemn rhythm, each swing stretching into eternity. The voice spoke of her, conjuring memories of evenings spent enraptured by her tales, her hands deftly weaving intricate patterns in needlework, while the same lamp cast its warm glow upon us both. Did she hold knowledge of this voice? Had she left me a message only now, beginning to unfurl? The room's temperature shifted imperceptibly, currents of air causing the lamp's light to dance in ephemeral patterns. Shadows morphed into intricate designs, reminiscent of the lace doilies my grandmother used to craft, each pattern hinting at veiled meanings. Sinking into the worn embrace of my reading chair, I felt the familiar contours cradle me as the voice continued its spectral soliloquy. Its words adopted a cadence mirroring the clock's pendulum, weaving a mesmerizing tapestry of memory and enigma. My fingers traced the grooves etched into the chair's armrests by years of repetitive gestures. The bookshelves seemed to breathe with the voice's rhythm, their contents subtly shifting. One book stood out, a volume of poetry gifted to me by my grandmother long ago. Bathed in a faint glow from the lamp, the voice recited verses I had once shared with her during her final days. Time lost its moorings, flowing like molasses in winter, rich with significance yet eluding precise measurement. With each passing moment, the voice grew clearer, its words lingering just beyond full comprehension. It spoke of bonds transcending the confines of time, of love that reverberated across generations, of memories dwelling in the interstices between heartbeats. As the first light of dawn crept through the window, casting its gray fingers into the room, the voice began to wane. The record revolved in silence, the needle tracing an eternal path. The lamp's glow pulsed one final time, and in that fleeting instant, I grasped a profound truth about memory and loss, about how certain voices never truly depart. They merely bide their time, waiting for the opportune moment to whisper their truths. When morning fully enfolded the room in its embrace, I found myself still ensconced in the reading chair, the record player silent, the lamp extinguished. No tangible evidence remained of my nocturnal odyssey, save for a solitary book of poetry resting open on the side table, its pages adorned with my grandmother's delicate annotations. Whether what transpired existed in the realm of dreams or reality seemed inconsequential compared to the lingering emotions it stirred, a sense of connection to something vast and inscrutable, yet intimately known. Though the voice had faded with the night, its echo lingered, a gentle reminder that certain mysteries are meant to be felt rather than unraveled, experienced rather than explained. In the ensuing quietude, I found solace in the uncertainties, in the liminal space between comprehension and wonder, where the most exquisite enigmas find their dwelling place. Story 18. Deep within the shadowy depths of a time-honored library, I stumbled upon a hidden alcove concealed behind towering shelves of ancient manuscripts. The faint light filtering through a weathered window unveiled rows of dusty tomes and artifacts that murmured tales of forgotten wisdom. The air was thick with the scent of leather-bound volumes and yellowed pages, enveloping me in a sense of reverence, as if I had unearthed a sacred refuge reserved for the most inquisitive of minds. As the guardian of the library by night, I had grown accustomed to the gentle cadence of the old building, the soft creaking of wooden shelves settling, the whispers of wind weaving through aged ventilation shafts, and the distant echo of the grand hall clock marking the passage of time. Yet this hidden nook seemed to exist in a realm untouched by the world beyond, a sanctuary frozen in its own moment, separate from the modern era. Drawn to this enigmatic space during my nightly patrols, I observed how the moonlight painted intricate patterns through the ornate leaded window, casting shifting shadows that seemed to form cryptic symbols on the time-worn wooden floor. On quiet nights, a hushed stillness draped the alcove, and I fancied I heard the faint rustle of pages turning, though I remained solitary in this secluded corner. One evening, as I perused the books lining the walls of my sanctuary, I discerned a peculiar arrangement in their order. The smooth leather spines, etched with the touch of countless hands over centuries, seemed to weave a deliberate pattern when viewed from certain angles. The varying heights, subtle hues, and precise positioning hinted at a hidden design, a purposeful alignment that beckoned further exploration. I devoted more time to studying these ancient volumes, meticulously noting their positions and how the moon's glow caressed them throughout the night. My flashlight beam would catch glimpses of gilded lettering that appeared to shift with the passage of time, unveiling snippets of text in unfamiliar tongues. The air in the nook grew dense, pregnant with untold narratives waiting to be unraveled. In my quest for understanding, I stumbled upon a peculiar book that radiated warmth under my touch, as if it had just been held by another seeker of knowledge. Its pages lay blank, yet under the midnight light, faint traces of writing emerged, elusive and ever-changing, as if dancing beyond grasp. The whispered words tantalized me, teasing with fleeting glimpses of meaning that dissolved like mist at dawn. The tolling of the grand clock guided me through the nocturnal hours as I delved deeper into the mysteries of the alcove. Small anomalies caught my attention, books shifting imperceptibly between visits, the window framing celestial vistas defying logic, and a persistent sensation of a presence lingering at my shoulder. My fellow guards noted a transformation in me, as my familiarity with the library's history deepened, as if I had borne witness to its creation eons ago. I found myself deciphering fragments of ancient languages previously unknown to me, and my dreams became tapestries, woven with visions of vast halls of wisdom extending beyond the library's physical confines. The pinnacle of revelation arrived one winter night beneath the full moon's glow and crystalline air. Seated in my customary spot, a book tumbled from its shelf, opening to unveil a detailed chronicle of a clandestine society of librarians who had mastered the art of preserving knowledge, not just in words, but in the very essence of space itself. They had crafted places akin to my alcove, sanctuaries where the boundary between reader and text blurred, where past and present intertwined seamlessly. In that moment, I understood that I had become a part of something grander than myself. The alcove had selected me, as it had chosen others across centuries, beckoning me into a tradition that transcended time and space. The whispers I heard were not mere echoes of an ancient building, but the voices of countless readers who had sought wisdom in this very spot, each contributing to the collective lore enshrined within these walls. As I penned this account in the soft glow of my flashlight, I realized that the true essence of the alcove may forever elude me. Its enigmas unfurl at their own pace, like cryptic messages materializing on blank pages. Yet, a sense of solace envelops me, for within the recesses of this ancient library lies a realm where reality bends, where knowledge flows freely, and where the act of reading transcends the confines of time and space. I continue my nightly vigil, safeguarding both the library and its hidden marvels. The alcove remains steadfast in its corner, patiently awaiting the next curious soul to chance upon its threshold. And sometimes, when the moon hangs low and the silence deepens, I swear I hear the soft rustle of pages turning, as if unseen companions partake in my watch, united in our reverence for the boundless magic of words and the enigmas they hold. Story 19. The enigmatic verse of the urban night. On a dusky evening, as I roamed the labyrinthine streets of the city, my eyes caught a glimpse of a peculiar rhyme etched upon a weathered brick wall. The verses, worn but rhythmic, hummed with a haunting melody that seemed to echo through the cool night air, mingling with the scent of rain-kissed concrete. It felt as though the very essence of the city was whispering an ancient secret, a tale meant only for those willing to listen. Approaching the wall, I ran my fingers lightly over the rough surface, feeling the words pulsate beneath my touch. The ink, not fresh but not entirely faded, existed in a curious state between presence and memory. A gentle breeze swept through the narrow alleyway, carrying with it the soft rustle of fallen leaves and distant murmurs of life. As I studied the rhyme, a peculiar pattern emerged. Each line appeared to be penned in a slightly different handwriting, as if multiple hands had contributed to its creation over time. Some letters flowed in elegant cursive, while others stood rigid and precise. Yet, these varied styles intertwined in an eerie harmony that sent shivers down my spine. With the flicker of street lamps casting gentle shadows upon the wall, I reached for my phone to shed light on the text. To my astonishment, the words seemed to shift and rearrange themselves under the artificial glow, playing tricks on my eyes in the encroaching darkness. I blinked, trying to make sense of the surreal sight before me. And as night deepened, I committed the verses to memory. They settled effortlessly in my mind, as though they had always resided there, waiting to be awakened rather than learned. The rhyme spoke of shadows walking alongside us, of memories dwelling in the spaces between moments, and of a melody only the walls could perceive. Night after night, I found myself drawn back to that enigmatic wall, the verses creeping into my dreams and thoughts, intertwining with my very being. Others passed by, their hands grazing the bricks in a silent communion with the mysterious words. Some paused, their gazes distant, as if catching a melody just beyond reach. Weeks turned into months, and I discovered similar verses adorning other walls throughout the city, each one linking to the last like verses in an endless poem. I documented each new discovery, capturing blurred images that seemed to resist being captured, as if evading the grasp of mere mortals. The more I delved into this enigma, the more my perception shifted. Street noises morphed into rhythmic cadences, traffic hums transformed into distant harmonies, and raindrops fell in a coded rhythm that whispered ancient secrets. On quiet nights, I stood before the original wall, the words existing in that liminal space where reality and imagination intertwined. Strangers would join me, drawn by an inexplicable force, their eyes reflecting the same sense of wonder and curiosity. The rhyme hinted at a time when cities pulsated with life, when walls held memories, and streets reverberated with the echoes of countless souls. It spoke of a hidden realm existing parallel to our own, visible only to those who pause to listen and truly see. Some nights, a soft hum seemed to emanate from the very bricks themselves, a soothing melody composed of urban echoes and forgotten dreams. As seasons shifted, the words adapted to their surroundings, shimmering in summer heat, flowing like liquid in autumn rains, and crystallizing in winter frost. To this day, I revisit the wall, the verses etched in my mind like a sacred chant. Occasionally, new lines appear between the old, the family of handwriting expanding, evolving like a living tapestry of collective consciousness. Each reader interprets the rhyme differently, some leaving with smiles of peace, others carrying a pensive gaze that lingers. The mystery endures, the unanswered questions weaving a tapestry of intrigue and fascination. In a world where technology unravels secrets daily, the enigma of the rhyme offers solace in the knowledge that some mysteries defy explanation. As night descends and the city's nocturnal symphony begins, I ponder the unknown authors whose hands crafted this enigmatic verse. Do they still roam the streets, adding to their endless poem? Perhaps we have crossed paths, connected by invisible threads of shared understanding, all part of a story that inscribes itself in the margins of our urban reality. Story 20. As I sifted through the treasures of my attic, my fingers stumbled upon an old, weathered album. Within its worn pages lay a faded photograph, its colors muted by time. The scene captured in the image seemed to shift subtly, as if alive with a hidden energy. A delicate fragrance of aging roses and ancient parchment wafted through the air, enveloping me in a cocoon of nostalgia and intrigue. The late afternoon sun filtered through the dusty attic window, casting a warm, golden hue that danced across the wooden floorboards. Nestling into an antique rocking chair, the soft creaking of aged wood beneath me lulled my senses into a tranquil state. My fingertips grazed the frayed edges of the photograph, tracing each crease and imperfection with a tender curiosity. The picture revealed a bygone garden party, a snapshot frozen in time from an era of elegance and grace. Women adorned in flowing gowns and men in dapper suits stood frozen in a moment of celebration, their smiles holding secrets untold. In the backdrop loomed a stately Victorian mansion, its windows reflecting the last rays of a distant sunset. Yet, it was one figure that beckoned my gaze. A woman in a pristine white dress stood apart from the jovial crowd, her enigmatic expression fixed upon the camera. Struggling to decipher the emotions etched upon her features, a chill brushed against my skin, and the scent of roses grew more potent, wrapping me in a mystic embrace. Closing my eyes briefly, the stillness of the attic seeped into my soul. When I reopened them, a peculiar shift had occurred. The light within the photograph had transformed. The sunset captured in the frame now pulsed with a gentle radiance, infusing the scene with an ethereal glow. The woman in white seemed to have moved, her hand outstretched towards an unseen presence beyond the picture's edge. Enthralled, I delved deeper into the mesmerizing tableau. The ambient sounds around me melded into a symphony of distant melodies, reminiscent of vintage gramophones playing soft tunes. The fragrance of roses mingled with notes of Earl Grey tea and freshly baked pastries, creating an intoxicating blend that stirred my senses. As I continued to gaze at the photograph, the boundaries of time blurred, merging past and present into a seamless tapestry. The figures within the image gained substance and life, evolving from mere reflections into vivid portraits. The woman in white grew more defined, a pendant around her neck catching the light in a mesmerizing dance. The attic's temperature dipped, prompting me to draw my sweater closer. Shadows stretched across the room, yet the photograph exuded a subtle luminosity, unveiling intricate tales previously unseen. A teacup quivered on a table, a butterfly paused mid-flight, its delicate wings trembling as if caught in a gentle breeze. Time lost its grip as I swayed in the rocking chair, captivated by the woman's gaze that seemed to transcend the ages, conveying a silent message. Her pendant glimmered, mirroring one I had unearthed in my grandmother's jewelry box long ago. A connection whispered through the air, linking past and present in a fragile web of memories. As evening descended, the attic dimmed, but the photograph retained its gentle radiance. The woman's outstretched hand now pointed towards a small door within the mansion's background, igniting my curiosity about the secrets it guarded. The distant waltz I had heard grew clearer, its haunting melody weaving through the air. The party guests in the image swayed in an eternal dance, their movements barely perceptible, lost in a timeless reverie. The woman in white remained poised, her enigmatic smile holding a hidden narrative. A resemblance to my grandmother in her youth dawned on me, flooding my mind with tales of a bygone era. Night crept upon the attic, returning the photograph to its dormant state. The figures froze in their revelry, the glow fading and the music fading into silence. Only the lingering scent of roses mingled with the mustiness of the attic remained, a bittersweet reminder of fleeting moments. Gently placing the photograph back into its album, I descended the attic stairs, the weight of my grandmother's pendant resting against my heart. In the hush of the evening, echoes of the distant waltz lingered, a reminder of the enigmatic threads that bind us to the past. Some mysteries, I realized, are best left unsolved, drifting between reality and imagination. The woman in the pearl-white dress had whispered her secret to me, a tale veiled in the mists of time, waiting to be unraveled when the stars align. Such stories, like ethereal photographs, emerge when the heart is ready to embrace their magic before dissolving into the twilight of memory. Story 21. On a misty coastal night, I ventured to an abandoned pier that extended into murky, unsettled waters. Etched into a worn beam were intricate symbols softly glowing under the moon's pallid light. The briny sea breeze carried a hint of enigma, and as I traced the markings with my fingertips, I sensed I held a key to a long-buried secret beneath the waves. The gentle lap of waves against time-worn pillars created a mesmerizing cadence, drawing me deeper into contemplation. Standing there, I noticed how the wooden planks beneath my feet seemed to murmur with each step, echoing the footfalls of bygone years. The air hung heavy with the tang of salt and damp timber, intermingled with something ancient, evoking memories of forgotten tomes and chambers lost to time. I found myself drawn back to that pier night after night, compelled by an inexplicable force. Each visit unveiled fresh intricacies in the cryptic symbols, curves that flickered in the moon's glow, lines that morphed into new patterns with the shifting tide. The soft creak of the planks became a familiar companion, a silent dialogue between the sea and the structure daring to breach its realm. On my fifth visit, a peculiar occurrence caught my attention. The air surrounding the marked beam exuded a noticeable warmth, contrasting with the cool maritime breeze. When I pressed my palm against it, the wood pulsed with a gentle heat that seemed to synchronize with my heartbeat. The sensation, subtle yet undeniable, akin to cradling a cup of tea that never cooled. Often the fog thickened as I studied the symbols, enveloping me like a gentle shroud. Within its embrace, sounds dulled and distanced, creating an intimate realm where time flowed at its own pace. At times, I fancied I heard a soft hum emanating from beneath the pier, weaving in harmony with the ocean's rhythm. One exceptionally tranquil night, seated beside the marked beam, I observed the water below grow unnaturally placid. Its surface mirrored the moon with pristine clarity, yet beneath that glassy veneer, shadows glided with graceful intent. Too fluid to be fish, too sizable to be ordinary marine life, yet too indistinct to discern. The symbols infiltrated my dreams, morphing into maps of uncharted realms, or pulsing beneath my touch like living script. I commenced a journal, sketching the symbols as they manifested each night, documenting their subtle shifts with the lunar phases. As weeks elapsed, I realized other pier visitors remained oblivious to the markings. Their gazes slid over the beam as if it were merely weathered wood. Even when I attempted to draw attention to them, people would acknowledge with a nod before diverting the conversation, their interest slipping away like water on glass. The true revelation arrived during the new moon. In the absence of lunar light, the symbols emitted a faint phosphorescence, casting a gentle aquamarine glow rippling like subaquatic currents. The warm pulsing within the wood intensified, and the hum beneath the pier grew clearer, carrying notes resembling a language long forgotten. Curious objects began appearing near the marked beam. Smooth stones etched with spirals, fragments of shimmering shells glowing from within, strands of silvery seaweed drying into intricate filigree patterns. Each artifact felt like a message, though their significance remained elusive. As I pen these words, I recognize I have become entwined in the enigma that resides here. The symbols have started appearing elsewhere, in the condensation on my bathroom mirror, in the rain patterns on my windows, in the cream swirls of my morning coffee. They no longer appear as mere symbols awaiting deciphering, but rather as a dialogue I am slowly deciphering. The pier transcends being a mere structure reaching into the sea. It stands as a threshold, a boundary between the familiar and the enigmatic. The subtle mystery of the symbols unfolds ceaselessly, never fully revealing itself, but offering just enough to beckon me back, night after night, to that juncture where the ordinary world meets something profound, ancient, and far beyond human comprehension. I have learned to find solace in uncertainty, to embrace the gentle allure of the unknown. As I sit here now, watching the mist envelop the surroundings and feeling the familiar warmth beneath my touch, I understand that my purpose is not to unravel this mystery, but to become a part of its ongoing narrative, weaving my own thread into whatever ancient tale is whispered in this threshold between land and sea. Story 22. Climbing a set of crumbling stone steps in a hidden courtyard, my eyes caught sight of an unfamiliar symbol deeply etched into the weathered surface. It glowed faintly under the filtered light, exuding a cool, mossy scent that stirred my curiosity. Pausing, I felt drawn to the mysterious carving, as if it held the key to a long-buried secret. The symbol, like nothing I had ever seen, featured intricate swirls, merging with angular lines that seemed to subtly shift as I gazed from different angles. Kneeling down to inspect it closer, the smooth stone surprisingly radiated warmth under my fingertips, defying the crisp autumn air around me. A gentle breeze danced through the trees, carrying the fragrant blend of late-blooming flowers and aging leaves. Each evening, I found myself returning to those steps, mesmerized by how the fading sunlight danced on the worn surface, making the symbol seem to pulse with a soft inner glow. The more I studied it, the more peculiar details of the courtyard unveiled themselves. The ivy along the walls purposefully avoided the area surrounding the marked step, creating a circle of exposed stone. On hushed nights, a faint humming seemed to rise from beneath the surface, resembling a distant melody played on crystal glasses. During one visit, I brought my sketchbook to capture the symbol. As I traced its lines on paper, my hand moved with a strange certainty, guided by an unseen hand. The resulting drawing revealed hidden details, tiny markings around the main symbol, forming what appeared to be words in an unknown script. Oddly, the next day, these additional markings had shifted slightly, akin to constellations slowly turning in the night sky. As autumn waned, I timed my visits with the setting sun. In the golden hour's light, I made a wondrous discovery. At the precise angle, the symbol's shadow stretched across the courtyard, pointing to a hidden alcove I had never seen. Within this shadowy nook lay similar marks, each unique yet connected to the first. With winter's approach and frosted evenings, the symbol defied the icy coating that blanketed the surrounding stone. While the steps gleamed white each morning, the marked area remained clear, as if warmed from within. On chilly nights, a mist rose from the symbol, shaping letters before vanishing into the winter air. The symbol began to haunt my dreams, morphing into doorways and paths leading to forgotten places upon waking. Despite their mystery, the dreams left me with a profound sense of tranquility. In my waking hours, an unfamiliar melody hummed in my mind, tied somehow to the mark, a soothing tune evoking distant waves and ancient forest winds. One twilight, as I sat on the steps watching daylight fade, an elderly woman silently appeared in the courtyard. With grace, she traced the symbol with a weathered finger. The humming intensified, and the air shimmered with countless points of light, like stars descending to earth. When I turned to speak, she vanished as quietly as she arrived. Yet her departure left me not with fear, but a deep connection to something vast and ancient. In her absence, she left a smooth stone that fit perfectly in my hand. Etched on its surface was a miniature version of the symbol. Now I continue my daily visits, carrying the stone like a charm. The symbol's enigma remains unsolved, yet I've realized that some mysteries are meant to be felt, experienced, rather than explained. The weathered symbol on the steps has become a gateway to contemplation, a reminder that even in familiar places, magic and mystery await those who pause to see. In the quiet moments between day and night, I imagine hearing the old woman's voice carried on the breeze, humming that strange, beautiful melody. Though the symbol's meaning eludes me, I find peace in its presence, a gentle reminder that not all mysteries must be unraveled to be cherished. Story 23. In the heart of an ancient mansion, abandoned by time, a profound silence enveloped me like a whispered secret. The grand foyer, adorned with portraits veiled in dust and drapes worn by the years, exhaled the essence of forgotten memories. Every creak of the time-worn floorboards, every murmur of the wind through shattered panes, carried tales long confined, beckoning me to listen. The fading light of afternoon filtered through aged curtains, casting elongated shadows that waltzed upon faded wallpaper. My soft footsteps echoed as I ventured further into the dwelling, each movement accompanied by the gentle descent of dust particles through the air. The musty perfume of aged wood and forsaken reminiscences filled my lungs with each inhale, while the distant whisper of branches caressing windows composed a subtle melody in the tranquility. My curiosity led me to a majestic staircase, its once grand banister now dulled by the passage of time. As I ascended, my hand gliding along the polished wood, I noticed a peculiar occurrence. The dust beneath my touch vanished, leaving gleaming patches as if freshly tended to. The wood felt warm against my skin, defying the chill that lingered within the mansion's walls. The second floor unveiled a corridor lined with closed doors, where the silence took on a weighty anticipation, akin to the pause between heartbeats. A subtle shift in temperature accompanied my passage by each door. Some areas emanated a gentle warmth, while others cradled pockets of cool air that urged me to draw my jacket closer. One door stood slightly ajar, offering a glimpse into an old study bathed in the amber hues of twilight. Books adorned the walls from floor to ceiling, their spines faded yet hinting at the wisdom they safeguarded. A substantial wooden desk commanded the room's center, its surface cloaked in a thin layer of dust except for one pristine circle, as if an item had been recently moved. Approaching the desk, the floorboards sighed beneath my weight. The chair behind it sat at an angle, suggesting a recent departure. Within the dust-free circle, a faint trace of writing emerged, visible only in the right light. We never truly leave. As the sun descended, casting elongated shadows across the study, I sensed a subtle shift in the room's ambience. The air stirred in gentle currents, though no windows were ajar. Books emitted soft settling sounds, their pages rustling as if caressed by unseen hands. Seated at the desk, my fingers tracing the smooth wood, I discerned a pattern in the ambient sounds, a language just beyond my comprehension. Time ebbed and flowed within those walls, minutes blending seamlessly into hours as I absorbed the surroundings. The encroaching darkness felt comforting, cocooning the study in a tender embrace, forging an intimate connection. The dust particles, swirling in the fading light, danced in intricate patterns that sometimes resembled writing, sometimes faces, forever eluding focus. As night fully descended, a remarkable sight unfolded. The dust-free circle on the desk emitted a faint luminescence, barely perceptible yet undeniable. The glow pulsed rhythmically, akin to a breath, causing subtle fluctuations in the room's temperature. The words, "We never truly leave," shimmered in the obscurity. Driven by an inexplicable impulse, I extended my hand into the glowing circle, and a profound tranquility washed over me. The mansion's silence metamorphosed into a melodic symphony of delicate sounds, previously unheard but now resonant. Each creak and whisper harbored significance, narrating the stories of those who had lingered in that very spot. When I rose to depart, I noticed my watch had ceased its ticking at some point during my vigil. The darkness of the house now bore a different weight, more akin to a presence than an absence of light. As I retraced my steps through the corridor and descended the stairs, I comprehended that the mansion's silence had never been vacant. It brimmed with tales, patiently awaiting a receptive audience. I often ponder a return to that venerable abode, to reoccupy the study as night descends. In the quietude of my own dwelling, I sometimes catch echoes of that harmonious silence, reminding me that spaces encapsulate more than mere memories. They harbor fragments of all the souls who have traversed them, lingering in the dust and shadows, yearning for acknowledgement of their enduring warmth. Story 24. Amidst a sudden deluge on an otherwise unremarkable night, I sought refuge under a sheltering awning from the relentless rain. The downpour painted a rhythmic symphony on the pavement, each droplet a note in nature's orchestral performance. Within the storm's embrace, a soft, urgent whisper beckoned, carried on the cool, damp breeze scented with the essence of fresh rain and distant thunder. This whispered invitation hinted at hidden truths, secrets waiting to be unveiled by the storm's unwavering determination. Mesmerized by the melodic percussion of raindrops on the canvas above, I heard the whisper once more, clearer this time, as if a voice spoke just behind my shoulder. Turning, I found only the encroaching darkness of twilight and empty space. The street lamps flickered to life, casting gentle halos in the misty air, guiding me forward as if responding to the whisper's call. An inexplicable urge tugged me towards a narrow alley nestled between weathered brick buildings. Normally, I would have dismissed such a pull as mere folly, but this evening held a different allure. The whisper bore no ill intent, only a gentle insistence reminiscent of my grandmother's soothing bedtime tales. Navigating the alley's path, the rain transformed into a delicate mist, caressing my skin with its ethereal touch. The warm brick walls radiated a comforting heat, as if they harbored the sun's embrace from centuries past, now releasing it into the world. My footsteps created soft ripples in shallow puddles, casting mesmerizing patterns of light dancing above. The alley unveiled a hidden sanctuary, shielded from the outside world by ancient buildings. At its heart stood a weathered fountain, its stone worn smooth by the passage of time. Water cascaded from its spout, harmonizing with the rain in a melodic serenade. The whisper seemed to emanate from the very essence of the fountain, growing stronger as I drew near. Clusters of small blue flowers encircled the fountain's base, their petals aglow with a celestial light pulsing in sync with the falling water. These blooms, both ancient and newborn, existed outside the bounds of time, their beauty transcending the ordinary. Kneeling beside the fountain, a sense of familiarity washed over me, drawing me closer to the engraved symbols on its surface. The markings shifted beneath my touch, fluid and elusive, like words written in water. The whisper evolved into coherent phrases, weaving tales of memories, promises, and the eternal cycles of time mirrored in the fountain's waters. In the pool's reflection, glimpses of bygone eras and lives long past danced before my eyes, fading like wisps of dreams upon waking. The blue flowers pulsed gently, casting ephemeral shadows that waltzed along the courtyard walls. Time flowed languidly in this sacred space, a honeyed stream of tranquility and solace. Embraced by the whispers, akin to a childhood lullaby half remembered, I felt no rush to depart, no fear of the encroaching night. The rain continued its gentle descent, veiling the hidden courtyard from the mundane world beyond. Revelations whispered in hushed tones, secrets too profound to fully grasp yet etched in the recesses of my being. As I rose to leave, a single blue flower detached itself, floating into my awaiting palm. Its ethereal glow dimmed to meld with the natural realm, yet its beauty remained undiminished. The whispers receded as I retraced my steps through the alley, a lingering warmth enveloping me like a tender embrace. Emerging onto the street, the rain had ceased, leaving behind a heavy veil of moisture in the air. The familiar glow of street lamps illuminated the wet pavement, life reverting to its customary cadence. Yet within me, a subtle transformation had taken root, a mark left by the enigmatic allure of that hidden sanctuary. In the quietude of night, on rainy evenings, Echoes of whispers carried by the wind still find their way to my ears. The blue flower rests on my windowsill, outwardly unassuming to all but those who truly see. In the depths of darkness, it pulses with a soft light, a reminder of promises exchanged in the rain, of mysteries veiled just beyond perception, patiently awaiting discovery by those attuned to the whispers within the storm's embrace. Story 25. As I strolled alone near the fringe of a thick forest, a faint, almost imperceptible howl startled me, seeming to ripple through the uppermost branches. The crisp aroma of pine and moist earth lingered in the air, enticing me to gaze into the shadowy woods where that eerie sound originated. The sun of the afternoon filtered through the leafy canopy, casting playful shadows that danced upon the woodland floor. Each step I took farther into the forest produced a satisfying crunch of leaves and twigs underfoot. The air grew denser, laden with the fragrances of moss and decay, yet strangely invigorating in its earthy essence. An unexplainable urge pulled me forward, my curiosity overriding any hint of apprehension. With each venture deeper, the familiar noises of the outside world gradually faded. The rustle of leaves in the gentle breeze intensified, creating a soft, whispered symphony. At times I glimpsed movements in my peripheral vision, but upon turning to look, only swaying branches and shifting shadows met my eyes. The howl echoed once more, so faint it could have been a figment of my imagination. This time it held a different quality, almost resembling a melody woven into the wind. The forest had grown hushed, as if holding its breath. The birds had ceased their melodies, and even the insects seemed to have fallen silent. In that silence, I sensed a subtle vibration in the air, an energy that caused the hairs on my arms to stand on end. I stumbled upon a clearing where the trees formed a perfect ring around a small pond. The water's surface resembled black glass, reflecting the overcast sky above without a single disturbance. Drawing nearer, I noticed a peculiarity in my reflection. It appeared to lag a fraction of a second behind my movements, as if struggling to keep pace with reality. The air chilled, and I wrapped my jacket tighter around me. It was then that I observed the mist beginning to rise, swirling from the ground in delicate wisps. It encircled my ankles, cool yet not unpleasant, akin to silk caressing my skin. The mist possessed an almost ethereal glow, emitting a soft, pearl-like luminescence that pulsed in harmony with the forest's breath. Standing at the pond's edge, I discerned shapes moving within the mist, barely visible forms that vanished when directly observed. They resembled deer, but more otherworldly, their fluid motions too graceful to be wholly natural. The howl returned, nearer this time, yet retaining its ghostly softness. It appeared to emanate from everywhere and nowhere simultaneously, as if the forest itself was reaching out. I swayed slightly, ensnared in a gentle trance. The boundary between the physical realm and whatever lay beyond seemed to diminish with each passing moment. The trees seemed to lean inward, their branches extending towards the clearing like curious spectators. In their twisted shapes, I could nearly discern faces, ancient and knowing, observing my every action with patient interest. Time lost its meaning. Though the light remained unchanged, I sensed that hours must have slipped by. The mist thickened, transforming the clearing into an isle amidst a swirling sea of white. The howl resounded once more, but this time I comprehended it was not a howl at all. It resembled more a song, an ancient melody that whispered of hidden secrets within the earth, of enigmas predating human footsteps in these woods. Standing there, suspended betwixt reality and reverie, I felt a presence behind me. The air shifted, carrying with it the scents of wild blossoms and dawn's frost. Every instinct urged me to turn, to confront whatever awaited, yet my body remained motionless. Perhaps fear held me in place, or perchance it was the realization that some enigmas are best left untouched. The presence drew closer, exuding a profound tranquility. The forest seemed to exhale around me, its ancient voices murmuring in long-forgotten tongues. In that instant, I grasped that I had stumbled upon something rare and precious, a corner of the world where the veil between the familiar and unknown had grown thin. I never did turn around. Instead, I shut my eyes and listened as the forest's song enveloped me. Upon reopening my eyes, the mist had withdrawn, and the clearing appeared mundane once more. Yet as I retraced my steps through the woods, I carried with me the certainty that I had brushed against something extraordinary, something that would forever alter my perception of the world. Even now, on tranquil nights when the breeze whispers through the trees, I occasionally catch that distant, silent howl. It beckons to me like a half-remembered dream, reminding me that there remain realms in this world where mystery and marvel reign supreme, awaiting patiently for those willing to heed their song. Story 26. In the cozy, welcoming atmosphere of my cherished coffee nook on a rainy morning, a neatly folded note caught my eye, resting delicately on my table. The paper, pristine and graced with elegant, unfamiliar script, carried a subtle blend of lavender and coffee scents. As I delved into its enigmatic contents, a chill danced down my spine. This wasn't mere happenstance, but a deliberate clue to a hidden mystery within the ordinary. The message, simple yet puzzling, read, "Seek out the woman in the pearl gray coat. She appears every Tuesday precisely at 9:17 a.m. She never indulges in a drink. She never engages in conversation, but she always leaves a trace behind." Intrigued, I felt compelled to return to the cafe every Tuesday, driven by an unexplainable curiosity. The soft, rhythmic patter of rain against the windows became my companion, weaving a tranquil melody to accompany my silent vigil. The familiar aroma of freshly brewed coffee blended with the comforting warmth of baked treats, enveloping me in a soothing embrace as I awaited her arrival. On the initial Tuesday, I arrived early, selecting a secluded corner spot, affording a clear view of both entrances. The morning bustle flowed around me, whispers and the clinking of cups harmonizing into a peaceful symphony. I divided my focus between the antique clock's steady ticking on the wall and each newcomer entering the cafe. And precisely at 9:17, she materialized. The pearl gray coat draped elegantly on her form, its fabric seemingly absorbing and reflecting the soft illumination in equal measure. Her presence possessed a tangible yet ethereal quality, akin to morning mist bathed in sunlight. With deliberate grace, she selected the same window-side table on each visit. Though her face remained partially concealed beneath a broad-brimmed hat, her hands, graceful, weathered, accented by a solitary silver ring on her right index finger, were visible. Week after week, I observed her meticulously orchestrated routine unfold. Seated for an exact 7 minutes, her posture impeccable, hands folded serenely in her lap. True to the note's description, she never requested a thing, never acknowledged anyone. Yet I began to notice the small tokens she left behind: a vintage button, a pressed flower, an ancient compass with a cracked face, but a needle spinning with peculiar vitality. The cafe staff seemed oblivious to these items. When I inquired about the woman, their gazes glazed over slightly, swiftly diverting the conversation, as if she resided in a blind spot of their perception. Each object she left behind seemed to pulse with a subtle energy, hinting at fragments of a narrative I struggled to piece together. One rainy Tuesday, I entered to find her seated at my usual table. Her gaze turned in my direction, and though her features remained elusive, I sensed her awareness of my presence. Resting on the table before her lay an aged leather-bound journal, its pages tinged with the patina of time. With a subtle nod, she indicated the chair opposite her. As I settled in, the cafe's ambient sounds ebbed into a distant hum. The space between us crackled with anticipation, akin to the pregnant pause before a storm. She spoke then, her voice resembling the rustle of autumn leaves in a gentle breeze. "You've been observing," she remarked, not as a query but a statement. Few still discern the patterns, even fewer take the time to watch, to ponder, to question the gaps between moments. Flipping open the journal, she unveiled pages adorned with the same elegant script from that initial note. Time eludes their grasp, she continued, her fingers tracing the text. It folds and unfolds like origami, concealing pockets where secrets gather. Some of us traverse these folds, gathering what lingers in the creases. The journal contained depictions of objects, the same items she had been leaving behind, each sketch accompanied by coordinates, dates, and enigmatic annotations that seemed to shift and morph when viewed from various angles. "Why me?" I inquired, my voice a mere whisper. She offered a faint smile, her countenance still veiled. "You possess the patience for patterns, the capacity to dwell in uncertainty without craving resolutions. Most importantly, you comprehend that certain enigmas are meant to be experienced rather than deciphered." With that, she rose, leaving the journal on the table. "It is now your turn," she murmured softly. "Watch for those who observe the patterns. Lead them back to wonder with breadcrumbs of intrigue." When I raised my gaze from the journal, she had vanished. The cafe's ambient sounds flooded back like a gentle tide. The rain continued its steady cadence against the panes, and the fragrance of coffee lingered in the air. The journal remained, tangible beneath my touch, its once filled pages now blank, devoid of writing. Each Tuesday at 9:17 a.m., I faithfully return to the cafe. Occasionally I glimpse others like myself, quietly perched, observing. At times I leave behind small tokens, a vintage key, a pressed leaf, a sea-smoothed piece of glass. Witnessing their discovery, witnessing the spark of curiosity igniting in their eyes, fills me with a quiet joy. Though the woman in the pearl gray coat never reappeared, her essence lingers in the hushed interludes between heartbeats, in the rain's gentle tap against glass, in the ethereal swirl of steam rising from coffee mugs. I have come to realize that some mysteries do not demand unraveling. They beckon to be witnessed, revered, and passed on, akin to whispered secrets nestled within the fleeting gaps of time. Story 27. In the soft glow of a sun-drenched afternoon, I found myself lost in the serenity of my garden, tending to the vibrant blooms and lush greenery that danced in the gentle breeze. As I moved about, a glint of curiosity caught my eye. A loose floorboard nestled in the corner of the old shed, beckoning me with its hidden secrets. With a sense of quiet anticipation, I knelt down to investigate, the scent of earth and wood enveloping me like a comforting embrace. Beneath that unassuming floorboard, a world unfolded before me, a hidden chamber filled with relics of a forgotten past, each item shrouded in a veil of mystery. The air hummed with whispers of bygone tales, urging me to unravel the threads of time that bound them together. Sunlight filtered through the dusty window, painting delicate shadows on the weathered tools and terracotta pots that adorned the space. It was as if the shed itself held its breath, waiting for me to uncover its secrets. With a gentle nudge, the aged wood gave way, revealing a narrow staircase spiraling into darkness below. As I descended, the temperature dropped, and the faint echo of dripping water filled the air, a soothing lullaby guiding me deeper into the unknown. My flashlight cast a soft glow on rows of shelves, each cradling artifacts from distant lands and eras. Porcelain dolls with knowing eyes stood silent sentinel, their faded dresses whispering tales of elegance long past. Leather-bound journals, inked with delicate script, offered glimpses into lives lived in another time, their stories fragmented yet poignant. Among the treasures, a peculiar music box captured my gaze, its intricate design mirroring the garden outside, a symphony of carved wood and hidden melodies. When I opened it, a breath of spring wafted forth, carrying with it the essence of flowers long gone but forever present in that timeless space. As I delved deeper, the room revealed its enigmatic nature, challenging my perception of reality with each passing moment. Star charts adorned the walls, depicting constellations foreign to my eyes, while photographs of strangers in my garden hinted at a connection beyond time's grasp. The journals spoke of nature's secrets, of blooms that bloomed under celestial guidance and seeds that whispered their secrets only to the moon. Hours slipped away like grains of sand in an hourglass, each moment a whisper of eternity in the tranquil chamber below. The room seemed alive, pulsing with a hidden energy that resonated with my very being. I felt as though I had stepped into a dream, where time ebbed and flowed like a river, carrying me along its mysterious currents. At a weathered desk tucked in a corner, a key of intricate design lay waiting, its purpose shrouded in mystery. Despite my efforts, no lock revealed itself, leaving the key a silent guardian of untold secrets, a reminder that some mysteries are meant to remain unsolved, their beauty preserved in the quietude of the hidden room. Emerging from the depths of that subterranean sanctuary, I found the world above bathed in the same golden light, as if time itself had stood still in reverence to the mysteries below. The shed's floorboard settled back into place with a soft sigh, as if sealing away the secrets we shared in that timeless moment. As twilight descended and the garden bloomed with newfound vibrancy, I sat among the flowers, pondering the profound shift that had taken root within me. The garden whispered secrets of its own, the evening breeze carrying echoes of understanding that danced through the petals and leaves. In the stillness of the night, I realized that the hidden room had woven itself into the fabric of my existence, a silent companion whispering tales of wonder and possibility. Its mysteries lingered in the air, a gentle reminder that beneath the surface of the ordinary, extraordinary treasures awaited those with eyes to see and hearts to listen. And so I continue to tend my garden with a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that beneath the earth lies a chamber of endless enchantment, a sanctuary of time and memory intertwined. The room remains my silent haven, a place where questions need not demand answers, where time flows like honey and mysteries bloom like flowers in the night. As the seasons change and the garden shifts with the dance of life, I catch glimpses of the room's hidden magic, in the play of light and shadow, a silent dialogue between worlds unseen. The artifacts from below occasionally surface among the blooms, a gentle reminder of the timeless connection that binds us all in the tapestry of existence. The secret room beneath the garden shed is my sanctuary, a place of solace and wonder that continues to beckon with its quiet allure. And as I drift into dreams each night, the mysteries of that hidden chamber lull me into a peaceful slumber, where time stands still and the whispers of the past dance on the edge of consciousness, guiding me into realms unknown. Story 28. On a moonlit journey home, the near-deserted subway car exuded an unusual weightiness. Nestled in the distant corner, a lone figure sat in profound silence, their gaze locked onto me as the train pierced through shadowed tunnels. The atmosphere hung heavy with the mingled fragrances of perspiration and stagnant air, while an unsettling sensation of being observed settled upon me. The gentle sway of the carriage and the rhythmic click-clack of wheels against tracks wove a mesmerizing symphony that typically would have ushered me into slumber. But this night was different. My focus kept gravitating back to the enigmatic stranger, whose mere presence seemed to warp the very essence of reality around them. The flickering fluorescent lights above intermittently cast eerie shadows that danced upon the weathered metal walls. I discerned a peculiar quality about my fellow traveler. Their silhouette bore a faint blur, as if glimpsed through a rain-splattered pane. Whenever I blinked or shifted my gaze, their contours momentarily sharpened before softening once more. This effect, subtle though it was, might have been attributed to my weary eyes had it not been for what unfolded next. The stranger extended their hand in what resembled a greeting, yet the motion left lingering trails in the air, akin to the way sparklers trace luminous arcs against the night sky. Each gesture birthed ripples in the space surrounding them, distorting the advertisements plastered on the walls behind. The temperature within the car plummeted several degrees, eliciting goosebumps to prickle along my arms. Time itself assumed a pliant nature, stretching and compressing with each breath drawn. The gaps between stations lengthened. The darkness beyond the window deepened into an impenetrable abyss. The usual ambient noises of the subway, the rush of air, the mechanical groans, the faint echoes, all dwindled into a velvety silence, leaving solely the rhythmic thud of wheels upon tracks. I found myself scrutinizing their attire, a blend of contemporary and antiquated elements. A coat that could have been worn yesterday or a century past, shoes that seemed to shift between styles when not under direct scrutiny. Their visage remained shrouded in darkness despite the overhead illumination, as though shadows were drawn to them. The stranger began to hum, though the sound eluded my ears. Instead, the melody reverberated within my chest, a haunting tune evoking memories of childhood lullabies and forgotten reveries. My eyelids grew heavy, yet I resisted their allure, ensnared between solace and disquiet. Subtle metamorphoses crept across the subway car. Advertisements morphed into different images when glimpsed peripherally. The metal poles appeared to bend at impossible angles before snapping back to normalcy upon direct focus. The windows reflected scenes that defied reality: verdant gardens, ancient libraries, distant constellations. The stranger rose languidly, their movement fluid as water in weightlessness. Advancing towards me, I observed their feet hovering slightly above the floor. An opalescent shimmer enveloped the air surrounding them, akin to heat waves rising from scorching pavement. Their presence imbued the carriage with an aura of profound age and boundless patience. Seating themselves opposite me, I briefly glimpsed their countenance, kind and ageless, familiar yet impossible to fully recall. When they spoke, their voice whispered like zephyrs through autumn foliage. "You perceive beyond the ordinary," they intoned, though their lips remained motionless. Rare is it to encounter one still awake in this hour of reality. I yearned to reply, to voice the myriad queries swirling within me, yet found myself enveloped in a profound tranquility. The gentle rocking of the train evolved into a cradle, and the obsidian expanse beyond the windows metamorphosed into a tender embrace. The stranger's presence shed its ominous cloak, transforming into a reunion with a long-lost confidant whose name lingered just beyond memory's grasp. Upon reopening my eyes, I found myself solitary within the subway car. The harsh fluorescence buzzed with customary clarity, the advertisements extolling familiar products and services. The air had reverted to its customary temperature, and the subway's symphony resumed its accustomed cadence. However, a subtle iridescence clung to my attire in the window's reflection, akin to dewdrops glistening in a spider's web. Nestled in my pocket lay a ticket stub of unfamiliar origin, adorned with characters in a script unknown to me, yet understood with flawless clarity. Henceforth, whenever I embark on nocturnal subway voyages, I keenly observe my fellow passengers. Occasionally, when light strikes just so, I glimpse indistinct edges and lingering after-images. And on rare occasions, I perceive a distant hum resonating not in my ears, but within my very bones. A reminder that reality is infinitely more malleable than perceived, particularly within those twilight realms between consciousness and slumber. Story 29. Amid a serene afternoon saunter through a neglected courtyard, a captivating, spicy fragrance captured my senses, a scent that seemed to defy the surrounding decay. It was a tantalizing blend of exotic spices and aged stone, drifting through the air with a purposeful whisper, as if carrying a hidden message just for me. Each step I took drew me closer to the enigmatic source, compelling me to unravel the secrets concealed within this unexpected perfume. The courtyard, a sanctuary forgotten by time, was embraced by weathered walls cloaked in ancient ivy. Autumn breezes gently stirred fallen leaves across weathered flagstones, creating a symphony of hushed melodies that seemed to harmonize with the mysterious aroma. The fading light of the late afternoon filtered through a canopy of branches above, casting intricate shadows that danced languidly across the ground. Venturing further into the space, I noticed a shift in the atmosphere. The scent, laden with spices, grew more potent near a particular corner where an old wooden door stood, its surface etched with intricate patterns now faded by the passage of years. The fragrance stirred elusive memories, fragments of childhood winters or dreams barely grasped upon waking. A curious stone bench beckoned to me, nestled against the wall. Smooth and weathered by years of rain and wind, it exuded a strangely welcoming warmth under my touch. As I settled onto the bench, the fragrance seemed to pulse gently, like a distant heartbeat, enveloping me in an inexplicable comfort. From my seated vantage point, I began to discern subtle details previously overlooked. Tiny carved symbols adorned the bases of the weathered columns, their meanings lost to time. They appeared to shift with the changing light, a subtle illusion playing tricks on perception. The ivy that clung to the walls quivered sporadically, even in the absence of any breeze. Time unfolded in a peculiar manner within that hidden space. Shadows stretched at an unusual tempo, and minutes blurred into hours, or so it seemed. The spicy scent would ebb and flow, guiding me through an unseen waltz, each wave revealing new undertones. Whispers of cinnamon, hints of cardamom, echoes of something ancient and profound. One evening, an elderly gardener materialized as I sat there, tending to greenery in a distant corner. When I inquired about the mysterious fragrance, she offered a cryptic smile and uttered, "Some places hold memories we've long forgotten." Before I could delve deeper, she vanished behind a hedge, leaving me to ponder her enigmatic words. The mystery deepened as peculiar objects began to appear on the bench during my visits. A tarnished brass key with no corresponding lock, a dried flower from an unknown species, a scrap of paper inscribed with elegant script in an unfamiliar language. Each item vanished before my next return, replaced by equally perplexing artifacts. Weeks turned into months, and the courtyard beckoned to me almost daily. The fragrance became a constant companion, evolving subtly with each encounter while retaining its essence. Fleeting movements caught my periphery, transient glimpses of a presence that dissipated upon direct scrutiny. On a particularly serene evening, as sunlight bathed the walls in amber hues, a delicate wisp of fragrant smoke spiraled from between two flagstones near the bench. It twisted into intricate shapes, almost resembling letters, before dissipating into the gathering darkness. The smoke carried the same spicy aroma, intensified and immediate. Tentatively, I reached out to touch the ethereal tendrils, expecting them to disperse at my contact. Instead, a gentle warmth tingled through my fingertips, connecting me momentarily to something ancient and vast beyond comprehension. Visions flickered through my mind. Generations of others who had sat on this very bench, each entwined in their own enigmatic journey. Their tales intertwined with mine, weaving a tapestry of shared experiences that transcended the boundaries of time. As winter approached, the fragrance shifted once more, becoming elusive, ethereal. The courtyard took on a new aura in the chillier months, yet the enigma persisted. The scent now graced specific moments, dawn, dusk, and those peculiar instances when time itself seemed to pause. Presently, I continue my pilgrimages to the courtyard. The spicy fragrance has become a familiar companion, though its origins remain shrouded in mystery. At times, I feel on the verge of unraveling its enigma, only for it to shift anew, revealing deeper layers of intrigue. Perhaps some mysteries are not meant to be deciphered, but rather experienced, embraced, and carried as cherished secrets. The gardener's words linger in my thoughts. Some places hold memories we've long forgotten. In the quietude of those ancient surroundings, inhaling the enigmatic fragrance, I contemplate if it's not the place remembering, but the memories themselves seeking a willing listener to share their untold stories. Story 30. In the hush of an early morning stroll through a tranquil meadow, I found myself captivated by the glistening dew adorning the grass like scattered jewels. To my amazement, the tiny droplets had coalesced into intricate letters, a script crafted by nature's hand. The air was redolent with the earthy fragrance of damp soil and wild blooms, enveloping me in a cocoon of serenity. It felt as though this ephemeral message was a whispered secret meant solely for my eyes and heart. A soft, pearly mist draped the surroundings, casting a tranquil hue over everything it touched. As I knelt down to observe the dew-kissed grass more closely, my breath stirred gentle ripples in the moist air, causing the letters to shimmer and sway just beyond the realm of comprehension. Each stroke and curve bore a delicate elegance, akin to the finest calligraphy inscribed in liquid crystal. Day after day I returned to that meadow, drawn by an inexplicable force, only to discover new messages etched in the dew each morning, their significance eluding me like a wisp of fog. With the sun's warming embrace, the dew script transformed from clear, distinct characters into abstract designs that melded back into the verdant tapestry below. Occasionally, foreign words danced before my eyes, their shapes both familiar and foreign, teasing my understanding. The gentle murmur of the breeze through the tall grass became my constant companion, harmonizing with the early birds' melodic greetings to the dawn. I meticulously chronicled these enigmatic messages in a weathered journal, my fingertips tracing the lingering moisture on the pages as I transcribed the ethereal glyphs. The paper bore a slight ripple, as if preserving the memory of the dew's touch that birthed those inscriptions. One mist-laden morning, a peculiar shift caught my attention. The script now spiraled outward from a central point, weaving an intricate mandala of words and symbols that seemed to pulse with a subtle energy. The very air felt charged, and the usual sounds of morning were hushed, as if the meadow itself held its breath in anticipation. Tracing the spiral with a tingling sensation on my skin, I strained to decipher its cryptic pattern. The messages began manifesting in unexpected places, etched in the condensation of my bedroom window, aligned with precision, fleeting apparitions in the steam of my morning tea, vanishing as quickly as they appeared. Even the frost patterns on autumn leaves bore fragments of this mystic dialogue. In my dreams, the scripts materialized, flowing like liquid silver through a realm of shadow and light, imparting cryptic secrets in voices woven of rustling foliage and distant wind chimes. Each dawn brought with it a fading recollection of almost grasping the meaning, slipping through my grasp like water. My journal burgeoned with these enigmatic patterns, a testament to a gentle mystery that intertwined with my being. Hours were spent comparing the evolving designs, noting their correlation with the moon's phases, the shifting seasons, and the subtle nuances of morning light. As winter crept closer, the messages grew sparse, gracing only the purest mornings when the air was crisp and motionless. These precious moments became cherished, each one a fleeting gift until the arrival of spring. Frost lent its own artistry to the script, inscribing delicate messages in the frozen grass that sparkled like gems under the pale sun's gaze. Years have passed, yet I still frequent the meadow, though the messages now appear less frequently. I ponder if their purpose was to lead me to this state of tranquil observation, this serene appreciation of the morning's subtle enchantment. The dew still bestows its perfect droplets upon grass and leaf, and while the defined letters may have faded, I now discern a different story within their patterns, a reminder that some mysteries need not be unraveled to hold meaning. Resting on my desk, my journal brims with the captured essence of those dawn revelations. Opening its weathered pages reveals shifting patterns that dance in varying lights, mirroring the fluidity of the dew script itself. Perhaps understanding was never the goal. Perhaps the true gift lay in those moments of quiet awe, in learning to pause and behold the world's small wonders with patient, grateful eyes. The meadow stands as my sanctuary, a realm where the line between the ordinary and the extraordinary blurs beneath the first rays of daybreak. While I may never decode the essence of those crystalline missives, their presence has left an enduring imprint on my spirit, teaching me that life's profound moments often unfold not in grand revelations, but in the gentle unfurling of questions without answers. Story 31. On a serene night, a sudden downpour swept through the darkness, prompting me to venture outside to retrieve my umbrella. As I stepped onto the wet pavement, my eyes caught sight of a series of muddy footprints leading away from my doorstep. The rain fell steadily, creating a soothing cadence as each droplet kissed the ground, while the cool, damp air wrapped around me, carrying a sense of mystery, a silent visitor's enigmatic essence that left me both intrigued and unsettled. Beneath the gentle glow of the porch light, I observed the raindrops slowly efface the outlines of each footprint, blurring them into soft, vague shapes against the slick concrete. The rainfall cascaded in tranquil waves, drowning out the usual evening noises with a hushed white noise that seemed to cleanse the surroundings. Exhaling, I watched as my breath materialized into wispy clouds in the chilly air, pondering the enigmatic marks before me. The footprints held a peculiar allure, not quite matching the size or shape of any shoes I owned, yet somehow familiar. They appeared as if crafted by a careful traveler, each step deliberate and purposeful. What captivated me most was their faint shimmer in the dim light, as if harboring minuscule specks of moonlit reflections. Driven by an unexplainable curiosity, I found myself irresistibly drawn to follow the trail. My own footsteps whispered softly against the damp earth as I advanced, accompanied by the rhythmic patter of rain against my coat. The air bore the rich aroma of wet soil, intertwined with a subtle, sweet fragrance reminiscent of old books and dried flowers. The footprints navigated through my garden with uncanny precision, threading between the plants without disturbing a single leaf or stem, as though the creator knew precisely where to tread. As I trailed along, I noticed a peculiar phenomenon with the raindrops around the footprints. They hesitated momentarily before descending, creating fleeting, suspended spheres of water opaque with the ground. The observation, subtle yet captivating, hinted at an unseen magic weaving through the rain-kissed night. The garden path guided me to a small clearing where I often admired the sunset. Within this clearing, the footprints encircled a perfect ring, as if the maker had stood there, revolving slowly in place. The grass within this ring appeared subtly altered, perhaps more silvery or imbued with an inexplicable vitality. Each blade swayed in an imperceptible breeze that eluded my senses. Kneeling down, I reached out to touch the ethereal grass, feeling its coolness and sensing a gentle vibration that coursed through my fingertips. While the rain continued its melodic descent, within the circle, each droplet seemed to emit a faint, harmonious note as it landed. Rising to my feet, I noticed the footprints ahead had transformed, becoming lighter and nearly imperceptible against the darkened earth, as if their creator was gradually fading away. The peculiar, sweet fragrance intensified as I followed the fainter trail, merging with the rain-laden air in a way that enveloped me in an unexpected tranquility. The path led me to the ancient oak tree at the edge of my property, its colossal branches outstretched like protective arms, whispering secrets to the rain. The footprints halted at the base of the oak, or perhaps ascended its trunk, the distinction blurred in the dimness and rain. Placing my palm against the moist bark, I detected the same subtle pulsation I had felt within the grass circle. The tree seemed to throb with a dormant energy, akin to a slumbering heart beating in slow cadence. Rivulets of water cascaded down its trunk, forming intricate patterns that almost resembled written words before dissolving into oblivion. In that moment, a profound shift in the atmosphere enveloped me. The air crackled with a soft electricity, reminiscent of the calm before a rainbow graces the sky. The raindrops choreographed a dance of light and shadow, moving in harmony to an imperceptible melody, painting an unseen canvas with their ephemeral artistry. Though the silent visitor eluded my sight that night, their presence had metamorphosed my familiar garden into a realm of enchantment and wonder. Even upon returning indoors and shedding my rain-soaked coat, the echoes of their passage lingered in the air around me. The strange, sweet fragrance clung to my clothes for days, and occasionally, amidst the rain's soft lullaby, I caught fleeting traces of it once more. Now, on tranquil rainy nights, I feel a magnetic pull drawing me outside, yearning to unveil fresh footprints weaving through my garden. While the visitor remains elusive, a subtle metamorphosis has taken hold. The rain falls differently, the garden flourishes in a new light, and the ancient oak sways to an enigmatic melody in the breeze. The silent visitor bequeathed more than mere footprints. They bestowed upon me a gentle enigma that continues to unfurl with each raindrop's descent. As I pen these words by lamplight, witnessing another storm approach, I ponder whether the visitor merely passed through or left an essence intertwined with this place's very essence. Occasionally, as I drift into slumber with the rain's serenade outside my window, I swear I can discern distant footsteps echoing in perfect synchrony with the rain's whispers, as if a spectral presence still strolls through my garden, leaving no trace but their ethereal aura. Story 32. In a forgotten corner of a neglected gallery filled with relics of the past, my gaze fell upon a portrait that seemed out of place, a faded depiction of a stranger whose eyes whispered of hidden sorrows. Behind the frame, concealed from casual glances, lay a fragile, yellowed letter written in a bygone hand. The air carried a delicate scent of aged parchment and lavender, beckoning me to unravel the enigmatic tale veiled within its words. The gallery itself exuded a sense of timeless tranquility. Sunlight filtered through tall windows, casting a soft glow that danced with dust motes, their ethereal movements mesmerizing against the backdrop of weathered wooden panels. Each creak of the floorboards beneath my feet murmured of the countless souls who had tread those same paths in eras long past. With trembling fingers, I carefully extracted the letter, feeling the weight of history in its weathered folds. The portrait, a woman frozen in time, observed me with a gaze that seemed to hold secrets untold, a blend of melancholy and resolve that stirred a longing to uncover her story. The script upon the letter, though faded to sepia by time's touch, flowed gracefully across the page, pulling me into a world long forgotten. As I delved into the letter's contents, the present faded into the background, replaced by the soft scratch of a pen, recounting a tale of mystery and legacy. My dearest Elizabeth, the words began, unveiling a story of a journey across distant seas in search of ancestral truths. Visions of an old music box with a hidden compartment, a key worn close to the heart, and tales of a mist-shrouded manor haunted the writer's dreams, urging them towards a hidden inheritance. The letter hinted at a map concealed within the portrait, a guide to unraveling the family's enigmatic past. Secrets whispered through generations, the wisdom of women passed down in shadows and moonlight, in the rustle of ancient trees and the dance of candle flames. The path to understanding lay not in material riches, but in the intangible treasures of the heart. As the letter concluded, its echoes lingered in the quiet of the gallery, casting a spell of contemplation over me. The portrait of Margaret, the letter's author, seemed to come alive with newfound significance, her features holding clues to a puzzle waiting to be solved. Shadows deepened, and the air grew heavy with the weight of untold stories, urging me to uncover the truth hidden within the gallery's walls. In the fading light, the portrait's secrets beckoned, offering a choice: to follow in Margaret's footsteps, to unlock the mysteries of the past, or to let the enigma rest undisturbed. I returned the letter to its hiding place, preserving its secrets while etching its words into my memory. The gallery whispered with a hushed melody, a haunting refrain that seemed to echo from distant shores. Leaving the gallery, I felt Margaret's eyes upon me, a silent encouragement to delve deeper into the mysteries that awaited. The decision to embark on this enigmatic journey could wait, for some riddles unraveled best in the quiet depths of dreams. As I departed, a faint melody lingered in the air, a ghostly murmur that seemed to promise answers yet to come. In the tranquil embrace of the gallery's shadows, I knew that this was not the end of my encounter with Margaret's legacy. The portrait's gaze followed me, not with unease, but with a gentle insistence, inviting me to return and uncover the truths that lay hidden in the whispers of the past. And so, I left, content in the knowledge that some mysteries unveil themselves in the stillness of the night, in the reverie of dreams yet to be dreamt. Story 33. On a tranquil, moonlit night, I ventured into a weathered observatory nestled on the outskirts of a sleepy town. Amidst the hushed whispers of telescopes and the musty scent of ancient star charts, my eyes fell upon a remarkable sight, a mural of eyes intricately carved into a decaying wall. The expanse of the starry sky outside seemed to blend with a mysterious glow emanating from within, as a gentle breeze, tinged with the scent of ozone and aged paper, hinted at a presence, a sentience surrounding me, a silent guardian of cosmic lore from a forgotten era. Crossing the threshold of the time-worn entrance, the world around me seemed to quieten, time itself slowing to a languid pace. My flashlight's beam revealed the aged wooden floors, their grain flowing like frozen rivers under the pale light, whispering tales of countless nights spent in celestial contemplation. The air hung heavy with a profound stillness, as if the very walls remembered every star that had graced the sky above. As I ventured deeper into the circular chamber, my gaze was drawn to the abandoned instruments that lay scattered about. A colossal telescope, its brass dulled by neglect, stood as a sentinel pointing eternally towards the heavens through the open dome. Papers strewn around its base bore faded calculations and symbols like cryptic messages left behind by scholars of a bygone era. The eyes etched into the wall seemed to follow my every move, not with malice, but with a sense of timeless observation, as if they had borne witness to celestial wonders throughout the ages. Some eyes were deeply engraved into the stone, while others shimmered faintly, capturing and reflecting the starlight that filtered through the dome above. A gentle breeze stirred the dust, coaxing lazy spirals that danced in the moon's soft glow, carrying with it a scent of ancient tomes and metal, mingled with an otherworldly fragrance evoking visions of meteor showers in the aurora borealis. In a secluded corner, an antique desk beckoned, its surface adorned with star charts from eras long past. Upon closer inspection, a peculiar realization dawned upon me. The constellations depicted in the oldest charts bore subtle differences from their modern counterparts. It was not mere age that accounted for this shift, but a gradual rearrangement of the celestial tapestry itself, as if the stars had moved in a dance unseen by mortal eyes. With a gentle push, the drawers of the desk yielded, revealing leather-bound journals filled with meticulous observations and enigmatic musings. Descriptions of watchful eyes in the void and breathing stellar patterns adorned the pages, accompanied by precise measurements that hinted at a deeper truth concealed within the observatory's ancient walls. A warmth seemed to radiate from the very stones, a subtle vibration coursing through the walls like a slumbering giant's heartbeat. The carved eyes pulsed in tandem with this unseen rhythm, casting shifting shadows that played tricks on the mind, blurring the boundaries between reality and the ethereal. In that timeless space, Minutes stretched into hours as I delved deeper into the mysteries held within, the dome above creaking and adjusting as if guided by an invisible hand. In a journal entry dated decades prior, an astronomer spoke of a celestial anomaly, a presence that defied classification, observing Earth with a gaze that transcended mere curiosity. The lines wavered towards the end, not out of fear, but out of a deep-seated recognition, a connection that resonated across the vast expanse of the cosmos. As the night deepened, a revelation washed over me. The observatory was not abandoned, but transformed, its purpose transcending mere observation to become a conduit between mortal watchers and celestial beings. Seated at the ancient desk, I watched as the stars danced above, the carved eyes pulsing in harmony with the universe's celestial rhythms, and I felt myself merging with the timeless essence of the observatory. With the approaching dawn, a sense of transformation settled within me, a profound understanding that we were not solitary observers of the cosmos, but intricately entwined with its eternal gaze. As I made my way into the fading night, a final glance back revealed the observatory standing sentinel against the growing light, its dome fixed upon a point in the heavens unseen by mortal eyes. Though I revisit the observatory on occasion, I linger not as I did on that first night. The carved eyes remain, a silent testament to the dance of observation in which we all play a part, both audience and performer in the grand cosmic symphony. The deepest truths, I realized, reside not in words or explanations, but in the quiet spaces between shadows and starlight, in the ancient pulse of stone, and in the patient gaze of eyes that have witnessed the cosmos since time immemorial. The mystery of the observatory was not a puzzle to be solved, but an experience to be embraced, a reminder that some secrets are best left shrouded in the soft veil of uncertainty, whispering tales of a connection that transcends the boundaries of time and space. Story 34. On a leisurely stroll through a historic neighborhood, I stumbled upon an ancient iron gate adorned with intricate engravings. Despite the ravages of time, the delicate designs and symbols seemed to weave a narrative of love and loss. The gate exuded a rusty fragrance that mingled with the crisp evening air, and as my fingertips grazed the weathered metal, I sensed a hidden story yearning to be unveiled, a story etched into every curve and crevice. The soft caress of autumn leaves whispered in the air, while the gentle golden light filtered through the canopy above. Standing by the gate, I observed how the dwindling sunlight cast deep shadows on the engravings, causing them to come alive with dancing patterns. The cool touch of the metal against my skin, etched with decades of history, beckoned me closer. The intricate patterns were not mere adornments. They formed a script of elegant letters intertwined with graceful vines and blossoms that spoke a language beyond my comprehension. Tracing the graceful lines with my finger, a subtle warmth spread from the metal to my hand, despite its chilly exterior. The sensation, akin to touching a sun-warmed stone, captivated me. Beyond the gate, a pathway meandered into the twilight, framed by majestic trees that created a natural arch overhead. The air carried a blend of earthy scents, crisp leaves intermingled with hints of old roses or lavender, though no blooms were in sight. Every time I attempted to move away, a new detail would capture my attention. A spiral in the metalwork led to another, creating an intricate web that always circled back to a heart-shaped motif nearly erased by time. Within its faint outlines, I discerned two sets of initials and a possibly faded date. As darkness descended, the atmosphere shifted, and the engravings seemed to transform before my eyes. Flowing vines now morphed into cryptic inscriptions in an unfamiliar script. Lost in the mesmerizing patterns, I swayed slightly until the tap of my umbrella against the gate jolted me from my trance. The sound reverberated with an otherworldly resonance, as if a submerged bell had tolled. In that instant, a response, almost imperceptible, resonated from the depths of the garden beyond. Was it the wind, or something more profound? The engravings began to unveil fragments of a tale, a loving embrace here, a flourishing garden there, and later, the same garden in winter desolation, branches reaching skyward. These scenes intertwined, connected by sweeping lines that seemed to embody time, memory, and yearning. Time itself seemed fluid in this place, where the glow of streetlights gradually illuminated intricate details in the metalwork. A hidden bird, a fallen leaf, each contributing to the unfolding narrative. The narrative depicted two lovers who had nurtured the garden beyond the gate. Though their names were lost to antiquity, their story endured, immortalized in iron and rust. Together, they had cultivated a beauty that blossomed through changing seasons, weathered storms, and transcended into something timeless. Time ebbed around me like a gentle stream, revealing that the gate was not merely a barrier, but a testament to enduring love, a love letter forged in metal to withstand the ages. While the heart motif at the gate's center bore signs of wear, it symbolized resilience rather than decay. Even as the engravings faded, the essence lingered, touching all who paused to ponder, to marvel, to feel. In the distance, a church bell tolled, merging with the soft whisper of the evening breeze. With a final glance at the gate, I knew I would return, aware that each visit would unveil a new facet of its enigmatic charm. As I prepared to depart, my hand brushed the heart design once more. In that fleeting instant, a gentle warmth pulsed through the metal, akin to a heartbeat preserved in iron, echoing through the years. The gate's tale accompanied me on my journey home through the deepening twilight. I realized then that some stories were not meant to be fully deciphered, but felt to resonate in the realm between understanding and wonder, between seeing and believing. The faded engravings had shared their message, safeguarding their deeper mysteries within their iron embrace. And as I left, the gate stood silently, a guardian of secrets, a sentinel of enduring love, and a keeper of timeless tales. Story 35. On a dreary afternoon, a discovery awaited me amidst the mundane stack of mail, an unassuming envelope, void of any markings. As I unraveled the aged paper within, the handwritten words unraveled something deep within me, stirring echoes of a past unknown to my conscious mind. A delicate fragrance, a blend of ancient ink and lavender, wafted through the room, prompting me to question the very essence of my existence. The paper, worn soft at the edges by time's gentle caress, felt fragile between my fingertips. Raindrops tapped a gentle melody against the window, harmonizing with the steady rhythm of my heartbeats. The warm glow of the reading lamp enveloped the letter in a soft amber light, causing the elegant script to dance before my eyes. "My dearest friend," the letter began, invoking a sense of familiarity with a place I had no recollection of, a summer house where time seemed to stand still. As the words unfolded, I could almost taste the warmth of sunlight on my skin and hear the rhythmic symphony of ocean waves in the distance. A crackling fireplace beside me provided a comforting backdrop, as each sentence unraveled a tapestry of memories, both alien and intimately known. The scent of sea salt mingled with the freshness of cut grass, the sensation of smooth floorboards underfoot, and the gentle rustle of cotton curtains in a breeze painted vivid scenes in my mind. The letter wove tales of afternoon teas in delicate china cups adorned with blue blooms, of whispered conversations in a garden where roses bloomed eternally, and of a mysterious locked room on the third floor forever shrouded in secrecy. With every description, the phantom memories grew more tangible, more alive, despite my certainty that I had never lived these moments. My feline companion purred softly in my lap, grounding me in the present as I turned to the next page, the words flowing like a tranquil stream, carrying me deeper into a realm of forgotten recollections. The graceful handwriting narrated experiences that felt as real as the chair I sat upon. Strolls through mist-laden gardens at dawn, shadows dancing by candlelight, and the elusive strains of piano music echoing through empty corridors. The creak of wooden floorboards beneath me seemed to echo the ancient sighs of the summer house, blurring the lines between reality and illusion. The scent of lavender permeated the air, no longer confined to the letter but permeating the very essence of the room, bearing the weight of memories not entirely my own. Or were they? Secrets shared, unspoken bonds, and promises whispered in the dead of night, unfolded in ink on paper. Mentions of a locket adorned with a photograph of two enigmatic women standing before a grand estate stirred a phantom sensation at my bare neck, as if the weight of that trinket had always rested against my skin. Outside, the rain whispered secrets I strained to grasp, its gentle patter a lullaby against the enigmatic tale unfolding before me. The letter recounted rainy days spent in the library of the summer house, surrounded by books whose titles shifted in the periphery of vision. The aroma of leather-bound tomes teased my senses, though I had no memory of such an experience. Approaching the final page, the ink seemed to fade, as if the words themselves were melting into the recesses of my mind. The writer alluded to a pivotal choice made in the shadows of midnight, a ritual that defied the laws of reality under a moon casting cryptic shadows. The conclusion of the letter blurred the lines between closure and commencement. Remember, dear friend, that memories are but fluid whispers of time. The stories we cling to are but echoes of the truths we choose to believe. Let this letter guide you to a different narrative, or perhaps to rediscover the one you buried deep within. Signed with a cryptic initial that eluded my gaze, the missive held a mystery that transcended time itself. As I folded the letter along its creases, my reflection in the window glass seemed to shimmer, revealing a visage both familiar and foreign, a subtle shift in the fabric of reality. The rain subsided, the lavender scent dissipated, and I carefully tucked the letter back into its envelope, knowing that the memories, whether borrowed or born of my own mind, had forever altered my perception of self. Drifting into slumber in my favored armchair, the distant melodies of waves and piano music serenaded my dreams, the phantom weight of a non-existent locket a comforting presence against my skin. Story 36. On a strangely cool night, I found myself wandering through a deserted train yard at the outskirts of the town. Surrounded by rusty tracks and the eerie silence of decaying train engines, a single light flickered intermittently atop an ancient signal tower. The scent of rust mingled with the musty dampness of concrete, and that stuttering glow pulsed like a heartbeat in the encompassing darkness, whispering of untold tales from journeys long forgotten. With each step on the gravel path, I heard the soft crunch beneath my feet, accompanied by the gentle murmur of wind brushing through empty train cars. The air held a peculiar stillness, a tranquility that settles in places forsaken by the passage of time. Moths danced around the scarce working lampposts, their delicate wings casting fleeting shadows that gracefully danced across weathered metal surfaces. My attention was captivated by that solitary blinking light in the tower, its irregular rhythm seeming purposeful in a way I couldn't quite grasp, a distant echo of an old memory or a half-forgotten dream. Drawing nearer, I observed the dark windows encircling the tower, emphasizing the significance of that sole illumination. The slightly ajar door emitted a mournful note as a gust of wind nudged it further open. Stepping inside, the air shifted, thick with an electric anticipation that sent a shiver down my spine. The wooden stairs groaned under my weight, releasing the faint aroma of aged timber and decades-old dust. Ascending to the highest floor, I uncovered an antiquated control room adorned with obsolete equipment. The walls were adorned with switches, levers, and dial gauges, their brass and copper fixtures dulled by the passage of time. However, my focus was drawn to the enigmatic source of light, an ancient signal lamp that defied logic by continuing its hypnotic pulse. As I gazed, a remarkable realization dawned on me. The light's pattern began to synchronize with the gentle rhythm of my breath, as if acknowledging my presence. The room's ambience subtly transformed, evoking a profound connection to this forgotten sanctuary. Amidst the whispers of bygone conversations, the echoes of train whistles, and the spectral hustle of travelers from a distant era, I settled into an old operator's chair. Mesmerized by the interplay of light and shadow on the control panel, the rhythmic blinking seemed to narrate a tale of solitary nights, signals dispatched into the void, and fleeting connections forged and dissolved. Tracing the worn edges of the control panel, I sensed the lingering warmth of hands that toiled here long ago. Time lost its grip as I succumbed to the gentle cadence of light and the nocturnal symphony enveloping me. The owl's distant hoot mingled with the wind's whispers, weaving a soothing lullaby of solitude. Gradually, the light's pattern evolved, morphing into a complex sequence akin to a code. A gentle shiver coursed through me as I comprehended a startling truth. The light wasn't merely an observer, it was aware of me. Its glow reached out, painting stories on the walls in Morse code shadows, casting a warm embrace of light that beckoned me closer. Delving deeper into the night, I stumbled upon weathered logbooks inscribed with faded accounts of trains that once traversed through, each entry more intriguing than the last. The concluding notation, dated decades ago, cryptically stated, "The light knows the way home." Beneath it, a series of dots and dashes formed a message I couldn't decipher, yet resonated deep within my being. As I departed the tower hours later, the steady pulse of light lingered behind me, a silent promise of my inevitable return. On tranquil evenings, I find myself sinking my breath to the remembered rhythm of that light, pondering if, somewhere in that forsaken yard, it continues to pulse its ancient message into the night. The tale of the flickering light remains unfinished in my mind, akin to a half-remembered reverie. Perhaps some enigmas are meant to be felt rather than unraveled, their allure residing not in resolution but in the lingering questions they stir within us, as delicate as moth wings brushing against a window pane. Story 37. As I rummaged through forgotten relics tucked away in the shadows of my home, I stumbled upon a locked drawer nestled within an antique desk. With a touch of determination, I coaxed the stubborn lock open, revealing a pristine note resting inside. The paper, aged and delicate, bore the marks of time, its elegant script hinting at secrets veiled in the house's history. A subtle fragrance of cedar and ink wafted from the note, beckoning me to uncover its enigma. With gentle hands, I unfurled the weathered parchment, causing the hushed rustle of aged paper to fill the room like a soft melody. The evening sun filtered through lace curtains, painting the room in a tranquil glow that danced upon the desk's well-worn surface. A sense of anticipation hung in the air, yet it carried a tranquil weight, akin to the calm before a gentle rain. The note bore a date from a bygone era, its flowing words addressing a mysterious confidant. "My dearest friend," it began, "I must unburden my heart of a weighty secret." Each sentence drew me further into its enigmatic tale, recounting peculiar occurrences within these very walls. Phantom footsteps echoing through empty corridors, inanimate objects subtly shifting when unobserved, and the curious phenomenon of fresh blooms appearing in a certain vase under the full moon. Enthralled, I sank deeper into my chair, captivated by the narrative unfolding before me. The author divulged the existence of a concealed chamber hidden within the house, veiled behind walls brimming with untold histories. Within this clandestine space lay not riches of gold or jewels, but treasures far more precious, memories frozen in time. The steady cadence of my grandfather clock's ticking provided a rhythmic backdrop as I delved deeper into the narrative, the pendulum's sway a hypnotic metronome. The writer recounted their discovery of an ancient journal secreted within the walls, chronicling the lives of the house's original inhabitants. These were no ordinary accounts, They spoke of shared dreams spanning generations, of whispered dialogues that transcended the constraints of time. Dusk descended outside my windows, prompting the illumination of an antique brass lamp that cast a warm golden aura over the pages before me. The note alluded to cryptic symbols etched into door frames throughout the abode, markings I had long dismissed as mere ornamentation. Yet the author claimed these symbols formed a cryptic map, guiding the way to the hidden chamber. Tracing my fingertips along the edge of the parchment, I read of the writer's endeavors to decipher these enigmatic symbols. They had unraveled fragments of the pattern, yet a missing piece eluded them. The note detailed how certain symbols waxed and waned with the phases of the moon, as the nocturnal melody of wind through swaying branches serenaded my reading. A conviction began to take hold within the writer, one that posited the house itself as a vessel of memories, not in a menacing guise, but as a tender custodian of bygone tales. Approaching the note's conclusion, the writer unveiled a revelation of profound magnitude. They had begun to experience dreams that felt more tangible than mere figments of slumber, vivid recollections of the house's past unfurling in their subconscious. In these nocturnal visions, a woman clad in a blue gown would grace them with a silent smile, her unspoken message pregnant with significance. The final passage bore a cryptic injunction. When the midnight chimes toll 13 times, and moonbeams caress the 7th step, the path shall unveil itself to those who listen with their heart's ear. Breath held in anticipation, I absorbed these cryptic words, attuned to every whisper that stirred the air, the subtle groan of aged floorboards, the distant susurrus of the wind, the imperceptible passage of time itself. The note concluded abruptly, leaving me adrift in a sea of queries. As I tenderly folded the parchment, a minuscule sketch caught my eye, a geometric motif that tugged at a distant memory. Glancing up from the desk, I espied the room cloaked in deepening shadows, save for the warm halo cast by the flickering lamplight. A subtle metamorphosis pervaded the house, not one of disquiet, but of a profound cognizance of the myriad sagas enshrined within its walls. Every creak, every shadow, every ethereal shift in the atmosphere seemed pregnant with new significance. Returning the note to its resting place, I refrained from securing the drawer. An intuition whispered that this discovery marked but the inception of a grander enigma, one destined to unfurl gradually, akin to the dawning light. Enveloped by encroaching darkness, I pondered whether the elusive lady in the azure gown might grace my dreams, whispering secrets in the silent hours of night. The grandfather clock's measured tick persisted, a constant companion in the stillness, while a distant church bell tolled, its chimes a distant echo in the night. Absently counting the tolls, my mind lingered on the enigma of the note. And as the final resonance faded into silence, a faint rustle, akin to silk, teased my ears. The phantom whisper of a blue gown traversing a vacant room. Story 38. On a hazy afternoon, I set foot into a deserted quarry on the outskirts of a tranquil town. The expanse stretched out before me, filled with faint, eerie whispers carried by the wind as it weaved through rugged rocks and hidden alcoves. The scent of aged stone and dampness lingered in the air, creating a mysterious ambiance akin to a clandestine dialogue between the quarry and the passage of time. My curiosity piqued. I pondered the enigmatic tales these silent walls had observed over the ages. With each step deeper into the quarry, my footfalls softly reverberated against the worn paths of stone. The dust I stirred up danced in the dim light filtering through the overcast sky, creating ethereal clouds that swirled around me. The atmosphere grew cooler as I descended, carrying a subtle sweetness reminiscent of rain-soaked blossoms. Abandoned places had always held a certain allure for me, yet this quarry exuded a unique energy, a gentle pulsation that seemed to emanate from its very essence. The towering stone walls, resembling ancient sentinels, bore the marks of human toil from bygone eras, yet now they whispered of a far more ancient and profound wisdom. As I turned a corner, a peculiar sight caught my eye. Nestled against one of the walls, partially obscured by cascading vines, stood an ancient wooden door. Its weathered surface, a soft gray hue, appeared surprisingly well preserved despite its age. What intrigued me most was not the door itself, but the vines surrounding it, moving in a slow, rhythmic manner, resembling a tranquil breath rather than the whims of the wind. Approaching the door cautiously, my fingers grazed the cool stone beside it. The sweet fragrance in the air intensified, mingling with an earthy undertone, reminiscent of freshly overturned soil. A subtle shift in the quarry's atmosphere became apparent as I stood there, the natural echo transforming into a melodic hum that seemed to resonate within the very stones. The door bore no handle, only a smooth, weathered surface where one might have been. Upon closer inspection, intricate patterns adorned the wood, spirals and curves that shifted and intertwined, creating a mesmerizing dance of geometry. Time seemed to lose its grip within that space. The sky above darkened imperceptibly, leaving me uncertain of the passage of moments or hours. The quarry's murmurs grew clearer, yet remained indecipherable, akin to distant conversations overheard through thick walls. Seated on a smooth boulder near the door, I found myself captivated by the gentle swaying of the vines and the steady pulse of energy permeating the surroundings. The warmth of the rock beneath me, contrasting the cool air, hinted at ancient memories etched into its very being. As twilight descended, faint points of light emerged from the quarry's depths, moving with purpose like stars in a celestial stone sky. These lights, though dim, wove patterns mirroring the carvings on the door, creating a silent dialogue of illumination and shadow. The sweet fragrance intensified, accompanied by a sensation of weightlessness, as if the air itself cradled me. The quarry's murmurs evolved into a soothing symphony of wind and stone, punctuated by enigmatic sounds akin to footsteps or heartbeats. Upon rising to depart, a subtle change caught my attention. The door, though still in place, had shifted slightly, revealing a faint line of warm light along its edge. The vines continued their rhythmic motion, now extending delicate tendrils toward me, glowing softly in the encroaching darkness. That day, I refrained from reaching out to the door, yet I found myself drawn back to the quarry time and again. In moments of quiet reflection, I would sit for hours, entranced by the interplay of light and shadow, attuned to the whispered secrets of the stone. The door remained a constant enigma, neither opening nor closing, but undergoing subtle transformations that eluded my grasp. The question of what lay beyond lingered in my thoughts, yet I came to accept that certain mysteries were meant to endure. The quarry harbored its secrets, divulging them through whispers and subtle clues, in the gentle sway of vines and the faint glow of hidden lights. Perhaps the true wonder lay not in unveiling the door's mysteries, but in embracing its mere existence with quiet contemplation. In dreams, I often returned to that spot, feeling the warmth of the stone beneath me and the caress of the cool breeze. The quarry's murmurs serenaded me into slumber, a harmonious blend of stone and time, reminding me of the ethereal spaces between perception and imagination, between sight and emotion. The door stood unchanged, enveloped by breathing vines, neither beckoning nor barring entry. And the quarry persisted in its age-old dialogue with time, communicating through whispers and lights, shadows and scents, narrating tales to those willing to listen with an open heart and tranquil mind. Story 39. In the dimly lit passageways of a time-worn estate, I stumbled upon a worn tapestry hanging loosely against the weathered stone wall. With a gentle nudge, it revealed a hidden doorway nestled within the ancient structure. A cool, earthy fragrance mingled with the delicate scent of wilted roses enveloped the chamber as I crossed the threshold. The moon's soft glow filtered through a slender window, casting ethereal silver beams onto the aged wooden floor below. The room, though smaller than anticipated, exuded an aura of mystery, beckoning me to unravel its long-concealed enigmas. Shelves adorned 3 walls, reaching from floor to ceiling, each cradling a collection of peculiar objects. Crystal vials brimming with vibrant liquids, unmarked leather-bound tomes, and intricately carved wooden boxes teased my curiosity in the subdued light. The air within felt dense, as though time itself lingered within the confines of the chamber. A grand timepiece stood stoically in one corner, its hands frozen at the stroke of midnight, its pendulum motionless. A soft, melodic whisper, carried by a gentle breeze seeping through unseen crevices, accompanied my every step. Intrigued, I gravitated towards a glowing bottle that seemed to pulsate with a faint inner light. As I grasped it, a peculiar sight met my gaze in the form of a reflection, not my own, but one with ancient, wise eyes that exuded kindness and untold secrets. Setting down the bottle, the mysterious eyes vanished like fleeting shadows at dawn. Among the array of books, a single volume stood out, its spine adorned with shimmering silver threads that shimmered in the moonlight. Upon flipping through its pages, I found them blank, yet beneath my touch, faint indentations hinted at invisible words inscribed within. The paper felt like silk beneath my fingertips, invoking a sense of otherworldly softness. At the room's center sat a dusty music box upon a weathered table, its surface bearing a perfect circular trace, as if a phantom finger had traced its edge. Upon opening the lid, instead of a melody, distant whispers in an almost familiar tongue filled the air, merging with the whispers of my own mind. A hushed anticipation hung in the room as I delved deeper into its mysteries, each discovery posing more questions than answers. A mirror on the wall offered a distorted reflection of the chamber, showcasing shelves arranged in patterns unseen to the naked eye. Shadows cast by the moonlight danced differently, occasionally revealing fleeting movements at the periphery of my vision, though I remained alone in the room's embrace. Time ebbed and flowed within the space, its passage distorted and elusive. An intoxicating scent of aged parchment intermingled with a sweet aroma, reminiscent of vanilla or a memory thereof, wafted through the air. Nestled behind a stack of journals, a plain wooden chest beckoned, devoid of ornamentation, its obsidian surface absorbing the moon's soft radiance. Upon contact, a gentle vibration akin to a feline's purr resonated through me, accompanied by a warmth that coursed up my arm. The chest bore no conventional lock, but rather a series of concentric circles that rippled under my touch, aligning in response to an unknown sequence. With a soft sigh, the lid yielded, revealing a solitary item within, a letter inscribed in shifting, fluid script that defied easy comprehension. Addressed to the one who finds this room, its elusive words evoked a profound sense of connection to an inscrutable yet intimately personal unknown. As daylight began to permeate the chamber, casting a golden hue upon the surroundings, a newfound sense of familiarity intertwined with the lingering mystery. Though aware of the need to depart, I remained, savoring the final details, the enchanting dance of dust motes in the growing light, the enigmatic patterns etched into the wooden floor, the soft creak of settling shelves in the warming air. Retracing my steps through the hidden doorway, I let the tapestry fall back into place, carrying with me not answers, but a profound reverence for the enigmas that dwell within the shadows of antiquity. Sometimes a lingering warmth from the wooden chest still tingles upon my fingertips, and the echoes of distant whispers permeate the edges of slumber. On certain moonlit nights, when the winds whisper through vacant corridors, I ponder if the room awaits another seeker, its mysteries poised to weave a new tale for the next soul to venture beyond the tattered veil. Story 40. In my quest through the forgotten corridors of an abandoned library, I stumbled upon a hidden alcove shrouded in mystery. Within its confines, relics of bygone eras and faded photographs lay in silent repose. A delicate mist lingered in the dimly lit space, carrying with it the ancient fragrance of old paper and cedar wood. Among the relics, a portrait stood veiled in partial obscurity, its subject a woman draped in Victorian attire. Though time had softened her features and moisture had left its mark, her eyes glistened with a clarity that defied the ages. It felt as though her gaze followed me as I traversed the alcove, beckoning me further into the veiled recesses of the library's forsaken chambers. Beneath my feet, the aged floorboards murmured softly, releasing ethereal clouds of dust with each step I took. These spectral particles danced in the pale beams of light that filtered through the grime-covered windows, casting a ghostly glow upon the relics of the past. A weathered desk, adorned with rings of teacups long emptied, drew me closer with an unseen force. As my fingers traced its smooth wooden surface, a forgotten drawer yielded a treasure, a leather-bound journal, its binding worn but resilient. Upon opening its pages, a delicate aroma of lavender and ink filled the air, transporting me to a bygone era. The elegant yet faded handwriting within spoke of events from the late 1800s, each word a whisper from a distant time. As I delved deeper into the narrative, a subtle chill descended upon the room, and the quality of light shifted, casting a golden hue reminiscent of sun-kissed afternoons. The journal chronicled the life of Elizabeth Blackwood, the enigmatic woman from the portrait, who served as the keeper of the library. Her writings unveiled eerie tales of books that wandered in the night, whispered secrets that echoed in empty chambers, and a cryptic collection of volumes said to house memories rather than mere words. According to Elizabeth's accounts, these enigmatic books possessed the ability to unveil glimpses of the past to those who held them in the right light, a portal to bygone days locked within their pages. As I immersed myself in her words, the very essence of the room seemed to shift around me. Dust motes swirled with purpose in the air, their ethereal dance resembling twirling couples at a grand ball. Soft echoes of page-turning resonated from remote corners of the library, though I knew solitude was my only companion, or so I had thought upon entering the alcove. A gentle zephyr carried the distant strains of piano music, its haunting melody barely perceptible, as if a figment of my imagination. The ethereal notes wafted through the walls, weaving a tune that stirred a sense of familiarity within me, though it was a melody unknown to my ears. The portrait of Elizabeth, once veiled in mystery, now bore a clarity that defied time itself. Her gaze seemed to penetrate my very soul, offering a glimpse into a world long forgotten. Pressing on, I uncovered Elizabeth's revelation that the library existed in a state of temporal flux, where past and present intertwined in a spectral waltz. Moments of temporal convergence were said to peak during twilight, when shadows stretched and reality blurred at the edges. As if attuned to my thoughts, the ambient light in the room wavered once more, casting the bookshelf shadows as living entities that danced and swayed in an otherworldly ballet. Within those shifting shadows, phantom figures clad in period attire moved with spectral grace, browsing shelves now devoid of their literary treasures. Their translucent forms held a mirror to a time long past, yet vivid in its spectral presence. Elizabeth's writings unveiled a theory that the library harbored not only books, but memories themselves, imprints of emotions and events etched into the very essence of the building. Layers of history intertwined, forming a tapestry of recollections accessible to those attuned to the library's enigmatic aura. A tremor coursed through my fingers as I turned to the journal's final pages, where urgency dripped from Elizabeth's ink. Her entries spoke of a merging of her essence with the library's spectral memories, reflections in windows adorned in garments of eras long gone, echoes of her voice speaking words yet unspoken. The last entry lingered unfinished, as if interrupted by an unseen force, leaving a sense of foreboding in its wake. As I closed the journal, my reflection in a nearby window bore a semblance of another era's attire, and in the glass, Elizabeth stood at her desk, penning the very words I had just read. The transient image dissolved with a blink, yet a lingering tether bound me to Elizabeth's spectral domain. The portrait on the wall now served as a gateway to a realm where time was but a whisper, where memories danced in the eternal embrace of the past. The air held a tranquil chill, laden with the weight of untold narratives echoing through the library's hallowed halls. Tenderly I returned the journal to its resting place, yet in the polished surface of the desk, my reflection bore a subtle transformation, a merging of my essence with the library's tapestry of memories. Far from unsettling, this fusion offered solace, a gentle reminder that every soul leaves an imprint on the places it traverses. As I prepared to depart, I cast a final glance at Elizabeth's portrait, where her countenance now wore a knowing smile in the dwindling light. I pondered if another wanderer would one day unearth traces of my passage, entwined with the spectral remnants of the library's enigmatic allure. Just as I had unraveled Elizabeth's veiled memory, perhaps another seeker would tread the path of whispers and shadows, drawn by the timeless allure of a library steeped in the mysteries of time. Story 41. On a serene evening, meandering along the river's edge, a peculiar sight caught my eye. It wasn't my own reflection gazing back at me from the water's surface, but a ghostly image of someone or something watching in silence. The soft hum of the river, infused with the earthy aroma of damp soil and blooming wildflowers, hinted at mysteries veiled beneath the tranquil facade of the water. My evening walks by the river had always been a source of solace. The way the setting sun bathed the sky in gentle hues of amber and lavender, the whispered melodies of the wind through the tall grass, and the plush moss underfoot created a sanctuary for my soul. Yet, on this particular evening, a subtle shift in the atmosphere stirred a sense of unease. Nature seemed to be holding its breath, enveloping me in an eerie stillness. Gazing intently at the water's surface, the enigmatic reflection remained motionless, unperturbed by the rippling currents around it. It bore an uncanny resemblance to a face, yet its features danced and morphed with each attempt to focus on them. Amidst the ever-changing facade, the eyes remained a constant presence, deep, all-knowing, and oddly familiar. The gravel crunched softly beneath my feet as I knelt closer to the water, a cool mist rising from the river, carrying with it the sweet fragrance of water lilies and moss. In the distance, the gentle call of an owl mingled with the rhythmic melody of flowing water, casting a spell of enchantment over the twilight hour. A magnetic force drew me back to that spot each evening, a mysterious allure I couldn't resist. With every visit, the river unveiled new secrets, a fleeting shimmer beneath the surface, a haunting melody rising from the depths, barely audible above the river's murmurs. The face in the water became a familiar companion, a silent confidant harboring untold truths. As the weeks passed, subtle transformations unfurled in my surroundings. The wildflowers bloomed more vividly near my perch. Fireflies danced in greater numbers, casting a soft green glow over the water like celestial beacons. The air itself crackled with a gentle energy, caressing my skin with a tingling sensation of magic. One hushed evening, bathed in the silvery light of the moon, a remarkable revelation unfolded before me. As my fingers grazed the water's surface, a surprising warmth greeted me, defying the cool night air. Ripples of light cascaded outward like liquid stardust as the face in the water smiled, not with lips, but with eyes emitting a warmth that seeped into my very being. In that moment of connection, understanding dawned upon me. The river was not merely a mirror of reflections, but a gateway to a realm between worlds. The face I beheld was not a specter, but a portal to a reality existing parallel to our own, perceptible only to those willing to truly see. Now as I sit by the river at twilight, snippets of ancient tales whisper in the water's gentle flow. The face appears less frequently, yet its essence lingers in the fluid dance of leaves, in the play of light and shadow upon the surface. The river has transcended its role as mere water. It has become a custodian of enigmas, a sentinel of mysteries unveiled solely to those patient enough to listen. Until this moment, this story has remained a secret known only to me. Skeptics may dismiss it as a trick of the mind, a play of shadows on a weary soul. But on tranquil evenings, when reality merges with dreams, I return to the river's edge. And sometimes, just sometimes, I glimpse those knowing eyes in the depths, a reminder that the greatest enigmas are felt rather than seen. The face in the river imparted a profound truth, that some questions require no answers, and some mysteries are best left unsolved. Now as I stroll along the riverbank, I carry this wisdom as a treasured secret, recognizing that the boundary between the ordinary and the extraordinary is as fluid as the water itself, ever-changing, yet enduring. Story 42. In a quiet corner of a local museum filled with the weight of history and the echo of countless whispers, there hung a portrait that beckoned to me like a silent siren in the sea of stillness. Among the solemn faces of a Victorian family frozen in time, there lurked a mysterious figure in the background, a mere shadow among shadows, a secret waiting to be uncovered. The gallery, bathed in the soft glow of autumn sunlight, was a sanctuary of old wood and time-worn stories. Dust motes pirouetted in the golden beams that streamed through tall windows, casting long shadows that danced across the polished floors with a grace born of forgotten tales. The painting drew me in like a moth to flame, its details etched in hues of bygone elegance. The family seemed frozen in a moment of quiet dignity, the mother's velvet gown a cascade of darkness, the father's stern gaze fixed on some invisible point, the children poised like porcelain dolls in their innocence. But it was the enigmatic figure hidden in the background that held me captive, a phantom barely there, yet undeniably present. Its form, a mere suggestion, seemed to shift and sway as if caught in a dance of shadows. As I stood before the painting, time itself seemed to slow, the world outside fading into a distant hum. The air around me grew cooler, carrying a whisper of a forgotten winter, a chill that crept into my bones like a phantom touch. I found myself tracing invisible lines in the air, following the contours of the hidden figure with a reverence bordering on obsession. Each pass of the guard became a distant echo, a metronome marking the rhythm of my exploration. It was then that a voice, soft as a breath of wind, broke the spell. The curator, a specter of silver and wisdom, stood at my side, her eyes holding secrets long buried. She spoke of the painting's history, of an artist lost to time, of a family haunted by a figure that defied explanation. As she spoke, the light in the gallery seemed to shift, casting strange shadows across the canvas, breathing life into the painted scene. The figure in the background stirred, its presence palpable, its gaze following mine with an unsettling intensity. The curator's words lingered in the air like a ghostly echo, weaving a tapestry of mystery and intrigue. She spoke of visitors who saw different things in the figure, of a painting that held more than pigment and canvas, a portal to a world where reality and illusion danced a delicate waltz. As I prepared to leave, a fleeting glance at the painting revealed a reflection that was not my own, a glimpse of the hidden figure standing behind me, its form solid and immutable. And yet, when I turned to confront it, it retreated into the shadows of the painted room, a mere mirage of mystery. That night, as I lay in the embrace of darkness, the painting haunted my dreams, its figures stepping out of their frames to wander the halls of my subconscious. The curator's words echoed in the chambers of my mind, whispering of secrets and shadows, of a painting that chose its viewers with a discerning eye. Since that fateful day, I have returned to the museum time and time again, drawn by the silent allure of the portrait and the enigmatic figure that lurked within its depths. I have watched as the painting shifted and changed, revealing glimpses of a world beyond the frame, a world where art and reality merged in a dance of shadows and light. And as I stand before the portrait, bathed in the quietude of the gallery, I cannot help but wonder if the figure in the background watches me as intently as I watch it, if our gazes meet across the divide that separates us, if in that fleeting moment of connection, art and observer become one. Story 43. In the hushed embrace of a forgotten wing within a time-worn mansion, a rusted key lay perched upon a table veiled in cobwebs. Its intricate design whispered tales of yesteryears, hinting at secrets long buried in the shadows of the past. The air, cool and musty, cradled echoes of voices lost to time, drawing me deeper into the mystery that beckoned from within. As the afternoon sun cast a soft glow through dusty windows, it painted elongated shadows upon weathered floorboards that murmured beneath my cautious footsteps. Each creak harmonized with the gentle pitter-patter of rain outside, weaving a melody of tranquility that enveloped my senses. Nature itself seemed to serenade my exploration with its soothing symphony. I cradled the key in my hand, tracing the delicate patterns etched into its surface, feeling the weight of history within its copper and green hues. Despite the passage of time, the key bore the mark of skilled craftsmanship, intricate curves and flourishes that spoke of a creator's loving touch. The patterns upon it, resembling blooming vines, seemed to whisper secrets of their own. The walls, adorned with faded wallpaper obscured by layers of dust and age, held a hidden beauty that mirrored the key's intricate design. Light danced upon elegant motifs, revealing glimpses of a forgotten elegance that once graced these forsaken halls. My fingers brushed against the textured wallpaper, uncovering subtle irregularities that hinted at a hidden order beneath the surface. A gentle breeze stirred through the corridor, carrying whispers of ancient books and aged wood, mingled with a faint sweetness that lingered in the air like a ghostly perfume. Each breath I took seemed to unravel another thread of the mansion's enigmatic past, drawing me further into its embrace. As I ventured deeper into the shadows, my eyes adjusting to the dimness, I sensed subtle shifts in the atmosphere around me. The rain outside murmured a lullaby against the windows, while the key in my hand seemed to pulse with a newfound warmth, as if awakening to its purpose after a long slumber. Amidst the tranquil gloom, a section of the wall caught my eye, its wallpaper flowing in a unique pattern that whispered of hidden secrets. With a racing heart filled with anticipation rather than fear, I pressed against a concealed panel, unveiling a keyhole that gleamed faintly in the dim light. The vine-like motif on the metal echoed that of the key in my possession, beckoning me to unlock the mysteries that lay beyond. With steady hands, I inserted the key into the waiting lock, feeling a sense of alignment as it turned smoothly with a soft symphony of clicks echoing through the corridor. The door swung open, revealing a chamber frozen in time, bathed in the gentle glow of filtered daylight that streamed through a dust-covered skylight. Within the room, draped furniture cast ethereal silhouettes in the muted light, while a grand writing desk stood as a sentinel, adorned with papers penned in an elegant script of days gone by. Yet, it was the collection of enigmatic objects adorning the shelves that captured my gaze. Intricate clockwork devices, mysterious music boxes, and curious instruments, all bearing the same vine-like motif as the key. As I stood amidst the stillness broken only by the soothing rhythm of rain, I sensed I had stumbled upon a sanctuary untouched by time, a realm where the ordinary rules of existence seemed suspended. The air held a sacred hush, as if the chamber existed in a realm woven from dreams and whispered secrets. The identity of the chamber's creator and the revelations hidden within the papers on the desk remained elusive, shrouded in the mists of uncertainty. Some mysteries, I realized, are destined to linger in the liminal space between reality and imagination, forever veiled in the gentle embrace of enigma. Years have passed since that fateful discovery, yet the weight of the key in my pocket, still warm to the touch, serves as a reminder of the mysteries that dwell beyond the veil of the known. And as I drift into slumber, I find solace in the knowledge that some secrets are best left to dance in the shadows of the unknown, where they may whisper their tales to those willing to listen in the realm of dreams.